Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday. We are up to session 27 of Masks of Nyarlathotep, and the end of Egypt is somewhere off in the distance. However, we are not quite there just yet.
Yes, we know where the end of Egypt is off in the distance. It's like up there.
With the TPK.
With the TPK. The end of Egypt is sky is circling us as it speaks.
We shall see. But in the meantime, before we get on to a rather possibly ferocious battle, let's introduce our characters. So let's start off with Pranit Singh Dillon.
Yes, my name is Pranit Singh Dillon. I'm an ex-soldier that joined this party back in London, and we were chatting with the keeper that I actually didn't take a single point of damage since then. So I'd like to change my name in Pranit Ironside Dillon, if you don't mind. But for that, I'll leave it to the end of this session, because things may get nasty.
Yep, knock on wood. And we have our latest recruit, Charles Barrington-Smythe.
Yes, I'm Charles Barrington-Smythe. I'm a young ne'er-do-well. 1 minute I was enjoying a nice party and a cocktail, and the next minute I found myself in a birdcage of sorts. Rather frightening. And I found out some very, very scary things. There's strange things in water, there's strange things in coffins, and there's strange French women who are both frightening and yet strangely alluring, all at the same time. It's wonderful. But we've just come out and there's a bloody big bird up in the sky, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do. I know exactly what I am going to do, though. I'm going to stay away from Pranit because he's jinxed himself by saying he's never been hurt.
And speaking of strange French women.
Hello, my name is Françoise Pelletier. I believe I have an earned reputation as some kind of badass, but actually I am lovely and charming. Just not to these people, because they are disappointing always. Now,
and go on.
Oh, no, carry on. By all means. Shine the spotlight somewhere else. God knows they need an opportunity to shine.
Well, I was going to say the last disappointing person. Shall we go with Perry Astor?
Yes, certainly. Perry Astor, your Canadian explorer out of Calgary, is not that well at the moment and is not looking like he's going to survive this session with lots of circling above us currently. And I'm not the only one either.
No, well, I'll double check that in a moment, but shall we get a recap from you first?
Okay, recap. So a lot happened in the last session.
I can do next week's recap now. There was an hunting horror, we all died. Can I have D4 points of luck?
You might need those. Yeah, I don't think I've got enough luck either. So we started last week's session by capturing Winfield. And we tried to get him to open the Sphinx, but he claimed he didn't know how to do it. So we've got Van Hoevelen wandered around this steel that was hanging off the Sphinx and started reading it. But as he was wandering around this thing, looking at the text, Winfield grabbed him and threatened to kill him. But being a good team, we didn't back down. Françoise got right in his face and invited him to kill Van Hoevelen, which Van Hoevelen was obviously a bit dubious about. But then we discovered Winfield did actually know how to open the Sphinx, and by reciting the words that was on the steel, he opened it. But even after that, he still refused to let Van Hoevelen go. While he was a bit distracted, Françoise grabbed him and pulled both Winfield and Van Hoevelen inside of the Sphinx, closely followed by Pranit and Perry. Pranit's first move once inside the Sphinx was to bop Winfield in the back of the head with the butt of his gun, which knocked him completely unconscious with quite a solid thump as well. Winfield's gun went off in the scuffle and injured Van Hoopelen, blown his ear off, which again he wasn't happy about. And we found ourselves then in a large room underground. At one end there was this darkness that torchlight wouldn't penetrate. There was a fairly large pool of water in the centre of the room, and we found some gibbets hanging from the ceiling that seemed to contain some people. We also saw an altar on a raised dais with a sarcophagus sitting on top. We managed to get the people down from the gibbets and released a few people, and was introduced to our newest member, Charles Barrington-Smythe. While Pranit and Charles were freeing the others, Perry and Françoise went to check out the altar and the sarcophagus. One of the people in the cages was Broadmoor, the woman from the dig we met, and she seemed to know where she was, and she seemed to be here for some sort of purpose. She kept talking about exercising a spirit. The other person in the cage was a guy we met called Gardner. So when we got to investigating the sarcophagus, we thought about moving it outside and destroying the mummy, but it turned out to be marble, so too heavy to shift. And as we were doing that, Perry looked down off of this plinth we were on and saw something moving in the water. And beyond that, there were some stairs leading down with a red mist. I shouted down to Pranit to just watch the water in case something came out. Also up the sarcophagus, we found a circlet and a necklace that Françoise took control of and put them on because our hands were full at the time. Back down to the bottom, Pranit sees something moving beyond the pool, sort of three human shapes with heads of a crocodile, an ibis, and a falcon. So quick action, Pranit shoots the first one and takes it out with the first shot. On hearing the gunfire, Perry stops what he was doing and takes a shot from the altar, takes the second one out, which then fell into the pool and was immediately attacked by something we saw moving in the water. Françoise didn't try shooting the animals approaching. She just tried to blast away the sarcophagus in an attempt to crack it open, but no effect. Pranit gets attacked by the third monster, but managed to dodge it and dispatched it with his sword. And he checked, but the people didn't seem to be wearing masks. They actually had animal heads on them. François had a conversation with Winfield at that point, which incensed Charles, who punched him and unfortunately killed him. Broadmoor, while this was going on, Broadmoor was investigating the sarcophagus, and she was on about some ritual and exorcism again, as Perry pushed the lid open a crack so he could stick some dynamite in. We set that off, but François said it would probably be better off to back it up with another stick, so we did that as well. Then we pushed the lid open to check the damage, and as the smoke cleared, the mummy was still completely intact. Next, we tried to set it alight, but the fire wouldn't catch on the mummy. Pranit sort of thought back to a book he'd skim read. I can't think what it was called, something of the Jinn. And
Song of the Jinn.
Song of the Jinn. And he was thinking that magical fire would probably be the only thing that would work on it. But he'd only skim read it and didn't actually learn any of the spells. François was, I think, going to cut the mummy up then, and she tried to cast the asset protection spell, which she had a conversation with the aforementioned god, who promised to help, that then promptly went to sleep and ignored her for the rest of the session. That not working, we searched around thinking there might be another way out of the pyramid. And we found the gaping darkness at the back of the room, the steps leading down into the ruby red mist, a tunnel, and then obviously something in the pool. Françoise decided to go down the stairs, but she felt a great crushing pressure on her by this invisible force, which actually broke her arm. So next we tried the tunnel, but we took the mummy with us out of the sarcophagus and dragged it through the tunnels. Perry navigated through the maze, keeping to what looked like the main route. The walls were red and covered in horrific animal pictures. The other members of the party noticed that the tunnel looked subtly fleshy, like lungs moving. But we reached a blank wall with a hole in the wall and a handle. So Perry tried to pull that, got a shock, fell unconscious, lost the hard-earned HP that he gained back. But the door slid open. Luckily, Pranit was smacking Perry in the face. Luckily, it was Pranit and not Charles. So Perry came around, and we moved into the sloping tunnel. The tunnel was sloping up into another dead end, which we opened by a means of a lever. Charles opened that one, and we ended up in the Mycerinus pyramid. We managed to leave the pyramid, but as we leave the pyramid, we see outside this great big dragony type thing circling above us.
And can I just say that Phil deserves some bonus points or something for the best use of understatement I have ever heard. Van Hoovelen gets shot in the ear and he wasn't too happy about it. That
It wasn't.
wonderful understatement.
His bad day is not even finished yet because there is a dragon overhead.
There's a dragon overhead.
Take your
Yeah.
D8 and look, Perry.
My D8 is 5.
Okay.
I'm going to need
so
all of that.
you probably will. Okay, so let's just quickly go through. I'll go through sanity, luck, and hit points because I think there's a bit I need to still take off just to kind of keep you on track. So, Françoise, I believe, are you on 89 sanity at the moment?
I am indeed.
Yep. Now, HP, I know that you took about 6 damage, but I've got here you're on 7. Is that right, or have you got a bit
No.
less?
I am on 40 points.
4, that's right, okay. And then obviously 0 luck. Perry, you didn't take any sanity last week, so you're on 74 sanity, I believe. 1 hit point
One hit
from being
point.
slapped in the face, and now you're on 27 luck.
That's correct.
Pranit, you are on 58 luck, sorry, sanity, 58 sanity.
Yes, I confirm.
And being the ironclad you are, you're on full health, and you've got 10 luck.
Yes.
Charles, you are on 23 sanity, having lost
Yes.
2 in a day. We'll see how
Yes.
this goes. Full health currently on 11 and 30 luck.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I too have not been injured as of yet in this campaign.
Yeah, okay.
Slightly different circumstances, though. And hello, Stephen.
Hello, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Okay. So just to kind of reset the scene then. So yeah, you've just come out. You're starting to make your way across the plateau back towards your car, the trucks, etc. And like I said at the end of the session, there is this rather large winged creature circling around, which has caught Charles Barrington-Smythe's attention. Just while we sort out what's going on, like what it's doing and things, and you don't have to worry about initiative because I do have a table that I've made up. Can Pranit and Charles make me sanity rolls, please, as you see this creature for the first time?
I
I
can't
don't want to
find my
make sanity
dice.
rolls.
Well, this is going to be the interesting part because
That's a pass for me.
That's a
36.
pass from me as well.
you lucky sods. Okay, apparently you don't
Oh.
lose any at all. However, it does kind of, given you've seen this thing before, it's not seen before even. It's a big creature. You realize it can't possibly be a bird. It's far too big, and the wings it's a strange shape. Also, its body is almost like a big snake almost. It's very kind of ropey. But the thing that gets you the most is that the way its outline distorts. Even in the low light, you can just sort of see that it's never quite properly intact as it should be manifested properly as an object or a thing in this world. So it does freak you out a bit. I'm just going to double check to see what it's thinking of doing first. Okay. So my next question is in terms of guns being drawn. So I believe back in I did try and watch the video to work it out. I think Françoise had hers drawn since going into the tunnel, but apart from that, I wasn't 100% sure if the others still had their guns drawn, etc.
I didn't have a gun on me.
I don't actually
Like
recall who was carrying the mummy. I believe it was me. In that case, of course, I don't have my rifle out.
that was going to be my next question. Okay.
I would probably have my rifle over my shoulder because I've been using my hands to support myself through the tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll probably have it drawn next round, but not now. So,
and as I say, I don't have a weapon.
And
So
you have yours. Okay. Was anybody helping you? I think some of the NPCs were maybe helping you with the mummy Pranit, but none of you guys were you?
I'm.
I think I was helping Perry a little bit.
I got no notes about this, so I'm not entirely sure.
So, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay, here. In that case, wait, what? Why isn't I put them to 0? Your initiative at 65, isn't it, Françoise?
It's dexterity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Yep,
it is.
So plus 50, yep. So it is your go first.
Well, seeing the situation and knowing how useless these guys are, is only one thing for me to do. That is because I have, hopefully, this god watching over me. I will run at a tangent between a tangent from the angle we are all going to, which is the car. I will go at a different angle so that if it sees us, I can distract it by shooting and hope then that this god will deal with it. Because if it does not, I will find her daughter in the afterlife and shoot her face again.
Okay. I mean, there is the temple area where you hid before that's kind of at an off angle, so probably there's your most logical place to maneuver to.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay. Okay, next is going to be Perry.
Okay, well, I will find a little bit of cover by a wall or back by the side of the pyramid or something, and prepare my gun for a shot.
Okay, so now yours is loaded. That'll take point basically next round. It is the hunting horror and Pranit tied, but what I'll say, given it's so high in the air, if you tell me what you intend to do.
I got 65 dexterity too, though.
Yes. That's right.
All right. Yeah, I'd like to hide with the mummy and take out my rifle because there's no way I can make it to the car before the hunting horror does.
Yep. Coolio. Okay, so since you've got the mummy, can you make me a stealth roll?
I can. All right. I'm spending 3 luck to be a regular success.
Okay. All right. So the hunting horror, it's kind of circling round widely, so it's kind of almost covering the entire circumference of the 3 main pyramids. And you're kind of hoping it's not going to see you. Do have a little bit of time to kind of duck down and get cover. But then suddenly you do see it dive. However, it doesn't appear to be diving towards you. It appears to be going for the frantically sprinting away tour guide that you scared a few minutes ago. So, okay. So it's going to basically dive, grab this poor guy, and just start ripping him apart, which hopefully has bought you a bit of time. Now, who is next on the agenda? So Van Hoevelen is just gonna kind of run with you guys at this point. Let's say as is Gardner and Broadmoor. Charles, what are you doing?
Having seen this thing diving away from us, and seeing as I'm not armed, I am legging it for the car.
Okay. Coolio. Right. So
I don't even know if I'll get in the car or whether I dive under the car, but I'm legging it for the car.
okay. So you're just making a beeline. In that
Yeah.
case, can you make me a con roll?
I can spend luck on that, can't I?
Yeah, you can spend luck on attributes.
I will spend 2 points of luck to make that an extreme.
Okay, cool. So you'll actually get there by the time it's your next go. Lovely jubbly. All right, so back up the pegging order. So now that a few of you got your weapons drawn, it's now Perry as first initiative.
Okay, I will take a shot at the winged monster.
All right. As it's now kind of reached the ground and it's not really taking back off again. So what I'll say is you can make a shot with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Advantage, sorry, bonus die.
48 or 38, which is 8 short of a hard pass. I'm going to say that it's a pass.
It's a pass. It unfortunately got an extreme to its dodge.
Oh, okay.
So you were definitely gonna shoot it, but it just sees you at the last minute and kind of pulls itself away briefly. Okay, Pranit, you're next. Actually, no,
Yeah.
beg pardon. Pranit and Françoise, you're tied. So whoever of you wants to go first.
Please, Françoise, go.
No, go ahead.
Can I?
You may. This is
Okay.
my gift to you, Giorgio.
To be an
because
imbecile so that you can criticize me after.
No, I just didn't want to send you a Christmas card this year, so I'm giving you this instead. You got it on the list.
Okay.
Oh, so kind of you. Didn't roll. All right. No, I fail.
You
Yes.
have to shoot. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
It's like the
You
person.
have to shoot it.
Yeah, I was going to shoot it, but I failed.
Okay.
It's like the person who sends you a scratch card as a birthday gift, and you find out you don't get any prize off it.
Can you make me a luck roll, please, Pranit?
Why?
Because you're shooting with a noisy weapon.
Of course I fail. I got 7.
Okay, so you see, well, you assume the bullet's gone wide. It hasn't, been hit at all or anything. But then you see, in almost this kind of warping contortion of its neck, it kind of jerks, and you see it look at you straight in the eyes, eye contact, and it bears these horrible teeth at you. That's why.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, they are largely together as a group still, aren't they, at the pyramid?
Pranit has hidden, kind of. I think where you are, right? You kind of went down into that bit of temple. Is that right, or were you hiding a bit further away from there, Pranit?
Yeah, I was just looking for a wall to grant me some sort of cover.
Okay, cool. In that case, yes, they are mostly.
They're all...
Well, Charles isn't. Charles is pretty much at the cars by now, but the other two, kind of.
Okay, and they've got the mummy, so they're all together with the mummy. So I need to get its attention. So, are you stupid non-Euclidean bird? And I shoot it.
Okay.
While screaming and shouting at it from within the ruins of the temple, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Again, you can get a bonus die because its eyes are fixed on Pranit at the moment.
Okay. That'll help because my shooting is terrible. Oh! Hard pass. Bonus die, oddly enough, is also a pass. Wow. That won't happen again. It's a 38 automatic, so D10 damage. I've done it. 5 points of 5-ness.
Okay. So yeah, it kind of flinches a little bit in its wing, but it doesn't really appear to have hurt it at all. It just kind of almost shakes it off.
Stupid thing, observe the laws of physics, will you? You better be fucking listening, you stupid cat.
It then starts kind of taking off. It kind of throws the carcass away and starts taking off low towards you. However, actually, is it next? Actually, yes, it is next. Okay. So yeah, it's going to maneuver towards you. What's this?
When you say you, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
You insulted it.
Right. No. When the big scary thing's coming towards you, that's not good.
Okay.
Getting you
I know
away
it was
from
the plan,
and
but
I
it's
have an
still not
escape
good.
plan.
Okay. As it is going to attack you next, but as it comes towards you with its sort of big, it's got this sort of big gaping eye. You can make me a psychology roll.
Psychology. That is a pass.
Okay. It is still coming towards you, but you think like it's noticed something about you that's caught its interest.
Okay. Well, my plan is either
Maybe
if
your
I can,
charm.
it is either to take cover in this temple, or if it looks like it's going to land on me, then I'm going for that chute.
Oh, the shaft.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Well, I can't fight it. I've got a broken arm.
Yeah, you're
It's
gonna
a
have broken
it-
legs as well.
It's a hunting horror. I just have to get back out the temple.
You
Yeah,
do remember
it's more
how
than
deep
20
this
meters
hole is?
fall.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a slope, so it'll be fine. And it's greased.
Okay.
Yeah,
just
which
to
means there'll be
remind
no,
Which
there'll be
means
no
I'll
friction
arrive
to
in
slow you.
style.
Just
I'll
to
arrive in
remind
style.
you,
Mm.
the first part is very much not a slope. It then gets to a slope about 20 meters down, and then you have no idea what it does.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it joins that tunnel network. Either that was the end of the character and I'm going straight to hell again. But look, it's a hunting horror. It's coming at me. If it looks like it's going to land on me, that's my statement, because otherwise I'm dead anyway. Right? If it looks like it's just going to attack as it flies by, then I'm taking cover.
I mean, you could always try and take cover and whatever. But,
Yeah. So, but that is my statement. Like, if it's landing, to halt, flying past, cover.
Okay. So it kind of comes towards you. You think it's maybe going to try and dive at you, but then you see its sort of weird claws come out, maybe to try and take a grab at you. So are you dodging?
Yes,
cover?
yes. I'm dodging behind the wall of the temple. If
Okay,
that's its plan, yeah.
It's reaching
nice
out
to-
with its talons.
Oh, that is a hard pass, and if only I had just a tiny bit of luck, it would have been extreme.
You don't need it. It's fine. It failed its attack anyway. So it kind of scuffs up a bit of rock and sand, etc. As it just kind of misses you. You manage to get out of the way, even with your broken arm, fairly easily with this thing. Hopefully, because you saw it coming. Royce, who is next? Oh yeah, it's the NPCs. So, Van Hoover. Oh, let's see, because you've still got the mummy, haven't you, Pranit? So, I think Van Hooverlin is probably just going to try and leg it himself towards the cars, given where the hunting horror is at the moment. Oh my god! And he got a critical. He's whether he adrenaline or whatever. You kind of almost see this like trail in the sand of maybe he's urinated himself as he's just running with all his might to get to the cars, and he sprints there.
He's fast as shit.
And the others
Sonic
are
the
going
Hedgehog.
Yeah, the others are going to do the same actually. Okay, so
Cowards.
right, where's so, oh yeah, here we go. So Gardner, that is a pass. More. That's a fail. Spawn is going to be slower. I think that's them. So, Charles, you're up. So you've seen this this creature almost kind of try and dive on. You think where Françoise is at the moment?
Right. I take it they're not exactly locked doors on these things at this.
No, I mean, interestingly, the doors to there's a rather fancy car. There's a sort of semi-average car, and the doors already appear to have been opened on it, as has the truck. You can smell a little bit of a aroma coming out of the back of the truck. That's rather
Okay. I'm going to avoid looking into the back of the truck at the moment. I'm going to have a quick scoopty. I want to see if someone's left a weapon, a gun or something, in the car.
which one? Sorry.
We'll start with the really nice car, and we'll work it from there.
Okay. In that case, I ask the others: did you leave any weapons in that car?
Was Winston carrying one?
Oh,
He was carrying.
He was. Yes, that's true. So the answer
And
then
yes.
is not in the car. It will be on Winston. Though obviously you don't know who Winston is.
Also, Winston is actually in the trunk.
That's right. You did put him back in the trunk rather than the truck. I beg your pardon. In that case, yeah, there's this aroma coming out of the boot of the car.
Ready? We're only gone 20 minutes.
Well, there'll be a little bit kind of what's it called? Setting in
Rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis.
Like fluid and things.
He did the shitting himself thing as he died, didn't he?
That's not what rigor mortis means.
I know, but that's what the smell is, isn't it?
Well, fluids, like secreting fluids.
You're not even going to give him dignity in death.
He shit himself like an imbecile.
All right. So what I'll say is that you're kind of busy looking for stuff in the car at the minute, as your action. Right. We are back up. So Perry.
Okay, yeah, I'll eject that shell in another with the bolt and take another shot at it.
Okay, make your roll.
Wow, 12. That is
That's
Make it extreme. Make it extreme.
I'll pay 2 to make it an extreme.
Yes.
Right. Impale. Roll your damage.
So that's maximum, isn't it? So that's
Maximum
Maximum
plus
plus a roll.
16 plus what's that? 23.
Oh, 23. Okay, so where's it gone? 4.
Pranit inside approves. Pranit soon to be melted side approves. Molten side.
I am Charles Barrington-Smythe, and I approve this shot.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that. Okay, so you get it hard, kind of near its neck, and yeah, this sort of oozing. You think it's blood, but it's not. It's not the right color for starters. Kind of comes splurting out, and it sort of screams in agony. It's still definitely like moving around, and it's trying to ignore it, but it's sort of going to writhe for a few seconds.
Did it put off chasing Françoise?
You don't know at this point. I mean, it is a hunting horror.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's his
acting
job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's written literally in its name.
But you have given it a major wound.
Ooh.
So I need to do con rolls at a certain point. Okay. Now it is Pranit and/or Françoise.
Now, Pranit. Now, Françoise, you go first now. One each.
Okay. What is the hunting horror done as it's attacked me? Has it sort of continued on, or is it trying to claw at me or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, given the speed it came at you, it's got sort of enough momentum that it's kind of gone past you a bit. So it was trying to come back round. But at that point, Perry managed to get it with the rifle. So it's kind of trying to overcome the pain at the moment, but it's not very far away from you.
Okay, so I'll just pop up over the wall and take a shot.
All right.
Oh, one-handed because broken arm. Let me just check the critical fail range on that particular weapon. Oh, missed it by 1. Thank you. It's a miss. I'm happy to accept that under the circumstances.
Well, I know it's not a malfunction, but is it a fumble in terms of your skill?
Oh, yeah. So definitely yes. As a short range, do I get a bonus die?
Not with a pistol, no. No, it only works with rifles and shotguns, etc.
But yeah, then it would. I forget what the threshold is, but yeah, definitely. I think.
Okay. Right. I'm trying to think what to do then, because people are quite far away from you, so there's no chance of you hitting. What I'll say is that you kind of you try and hold it up with your arm, and given you've only got one arm, you kind of let it off, and almost kind of in shock of the force, I guess, the bullet coming out, it slips out of your hand and you drop it.
That stupid gun must have been made in Germany.
Not a Luger.
Like a balloon.
Pranit then.
All right, I'm gonna shoot the fucker again with another couple of dice.
Okay.
We'd rather you shoot the
Oh.
hunting horror.
It's an 18.
Ooh,
Aww. No, it's just an hard pass.
Luck.
I can't spend all my luck for it to make an extreme. It's too much.
Okay.
No, it's not, because you're going to die anyway.
Yeah, fuck it,
Yeah,
I'm
but-
spending it.
That worked.
Okay.
I'm spending it.
It was a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Roll your damage then.
All right, so it's a base 17 plus 17 plus 3. It's 28 total.
I see. Okay. You pump some lead into this huge creature, and you manage to get it straight in its big, beaming eye. It writhes even more at this point and kind of twists over. It's near to Françoise now, given how it's sort of twisted back around. And it gives you this one look, Françoise, with its eye just kind of covered in blood. And it almost tries to launch its weight at you in kind of one last maneuver. But then, as that happens, and all of you see this from where you are, well, actually, you hear this first. You hear this kind of this low sort of like a resonating pitch, and you see the 3 big pyramids start lighting up with this huge radiating light. It gets stronger and stronger, and this thing is just absolutely, it's screaming so loudly. If anything, the light is making it worse than the bullets. And you see it sort of writhe even further, but it can't really take off because it's too wounded. So it actually starts almost dissolving from the light in front of you that's now emanating around the place.
I scramble for my gun and shoot it in the head.
I mean, cool. Okay, I can let you do that. However, can everyone make me a? Let's go for a. Oh, actually, everyone but Françoise, can you make me a dex roll?
Dex.
Françoise, can you make me a con roll, actually?
Just a normal pass from me.
Okay.
Normal
Yeah, it's a
pass.
pass for me.
No, not even close.
Okay, so the majority of you either turn away quickly enough from the light that's now kind of almost like blinding as the sun, or Françoise, you're so kind of concentrating on the moment, and you're just sort of you're not too kind of fussed about how deafening this sound is. But Charles, you're just not quick enough to turn away from the light. So at the moment, for at least a good few minutes, you cannot see. This light is just so radiant. It's like you stared at the sun basically for too long.
What the fuck was that?
Where that came from, I've got no idea.
And then I stand over its head, put
Alien.
the gun to the eyeball, and pull the trigger.
Okay. Yeah, there isn't much left of it by that point, but you do, and the eyeball just kind of splits into several gruesome pieces, and just
Then I put the gun into the hole and shoot the brain.
okay. I mean,
Wow,
Sure.
that's brutal.
It's all right. It's
Can-
dead. It's dead.
can you give me a sanity roll, please, Françoise? For the mess you're making.
That's a pass.
Okay. You lose 1 sanity. Or rather, what I'll say is after that kind of initial feeling of seeing red and the fury, you will kind of feel like, oh, at what you've just done, even if it is what it is. But yeah, after maybe about half a minute, the light just start to dim. But even if you had turned away, it still takes you just a few seconds to kind of adjust back to the darkness again.
Someone
Is
else
the
must have
mummy
seen
still
that.
there?
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, you've been carrying it. You presumably had it next to you when you were shooting, and yeah, it's still there.
So
Yeah,
I
but
turn my
given
head.
the fact that now the thing is melted on the floor, I actually was hoping that it melt the mummy too, but
Ah, I
that's not the
see.
case.
No, it hasn't, unfortunately. And we appear to have lost Ronnie.
Yeah, François
have.
kills Steeler. Yes, Stephen.
Yes.
Yes, most definitely.
I turn my head to the sky and say merci beaucoup, because I'm thanking Bast as I assume it was her. But time you pulled your weight.
As you look to the sky, you think just for a brief second you see a silhouette of a large cat on the top of the highest pyramid, Pyramid Khufu. But then when you kind of look away, it disappears.
That was useful doing that, knowing that spell.
Yeah. Now you got some praying to do.
Yeah, now that we killed the thing ourselves anyway, it turns up for the moment of death. Great.
You might be taking Winston's place now, doing the prayer.
Yeah.
I already did it. I had a row with her.
Not at that shrine, though. That's
Yeah.
what she asked Winston.
Beggars could not be choosers if she wants to beg of me, since she cannot choose.
All right, we can check the tiniest detail in the contract next time. Now we can ride off into the sunset with the mummy. Hopefully to somewhere we can keep a low profile.
I was thinking the hospital.
We could certainly do with some assistance.
I'm just checking if Ronnie's online, but he's not, which makes me wonder if he's had like a blue screen of death or something.
Yeah, maybe.
He
So
did
let's-
freeze a
The
few
camera
times.
was frozen for a bit for me. I don't know if it was for you guys.
Was for me too. So it could be internet outage. So let's take a moment to give them a chance to come back.
Of course.
Meanwhile, Steve, Got to Prize Fighter on Thursday. I've done loads of new stuff. It's amazing. Seriously. I'm going to pop to the bathroom while we've got this moment.
Yes, let's take a break now.
Okay.
We can always do a little one later if we
Yeah,
need one.
it's fine. See you in a bit.
Hello.
Hello. Ronnie's having a few problems.
Oh, is he put in chat? Let's have a look.
He's in Messenger.
Yeah, he says technical problems.
Yeah, internet. I guess I'll have a glass of water after all. Steve, remind me, did we have horses when you last played Prize Fighter? I'm trying to think, like, when you were last on.
Giorgio, how's things in Italy?
I'm sorry?
How's things in Italy?
Yeah, I mean, we are always on emergency levels. Now, after the Christmas holidays, they made the criteria for each tier, like you have harsher than they were. So we were on the lowest before Christmas. Now we are back in the middle. But
To us.
yeah, but actually, I can play it out given the fact that Saturday they delivered furniture at my new apartment, to which I think I'll be moving as soon as possible. So I went there to build the furniture because it's all IKEA.
Oh yeah.
And then I went back today because we were also delivered the washing machine and the dryer that we put one on top of the other. But apparently they don't like each other, so they almost fall together on the floor. So I had to fix that before shit happened really bad. Yeah, other than that, same old. I'm still working from home. One more month, it will be a full year of me working from home.
Wow. Full year.
Yeah. Given the fact that I started working at this place November 2019, and in February I was already working from home.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta learn what you gotta learn, given the fact that you don't have anybody there here at home to help you out with things. Either you learn or you learn. There's really not too much going on other than that.
No horses. Well, Steve, a lot has changed. Oh, what's the update from Ronnie? What has he said?
I was just suggesting about.
Okay.
Maybe.
Ooh. On a more funny notice, last Wednesday I TPK'd my Call of Cthulhu party.
Yay! That's how you want a campaign to end.
Yes.
Wow.
I saw the last session flashing before my eyes when the hunting ogre was diving on us. I said, not again, not another TPK. I can deal with this.
We were very fluky in that fight just then.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the two of us could not have handled any sort of attack at all.
Yeah, I feel now I'm a little bit closer to Françoise, given the fact that now it's me with no luck at all.
I have no luck at all either.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I felt I was letting down the group luck rolls, but now it's both of us, so it's okay.
You're doing it together.
Can you
Yeah,
give me a
horses,
group luck roll?
magic
No, we
ball.
cannot.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
we
why I'm
fail.
looking for one for ages.
It's a great mechanism for getting rid of that mechanic, because now Jason's going to go, but there's no point.
It doesn't move to the next lowest then, by any chance.
Yeah. So yeah, well, the next lowest is also 0.
Ah, here he is.
He's
Ah.
back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Lemon thing.
It's horses, magic item forge, new monsters.
So, yeah. So you see this this sort of silhouette briefly. You think of a large cat, and also as the rest of you, presumably you're heading to the cars, right? At this point, there's no other creatures flying around or anything like that.
Right. Last thing I heard was I got blinded. Everything after that I didn't hear.
Basically, not much happened really, apart from Françoise repeatedly shooting the hunting horror a bazillion times. We kind of deliberately didn't do anything else after that to wait for you.
I shot its eye as its corpse was in front of me. And then I put the gun into the hole as the eye exploded and shot its brain. I was then asked to make a sanity roll, because apparently that was extreme. It's hunting horror, you got to make sure.
Well, you see, I have to side with Becky on this one. If it had been a human being, that would be excessive. For a hunting horror, shoving 12 sticks of dynamite in its dead mouth and blowing it up would not have been considered excessive.
And if you weren't sure what was the mouth, any other orifice, and all of other orifices included.
Exactly. Including the aforementioned exploding eye hole. Just shove dynamite down there and blow it up.
Anyway, we didn't need to do that, fortunately, because it's now pretty much dissolved. But yes, so you kind of thank Bass, because presumably it was her who did that. You see, just for a second, you think there's like a silhouette of a large cat on top of one of the pyramids. And then as you're all kind of making your way to the car, you also think you hear like a distant roaring sound, like of a large cat, a panther, a lion, something like that. You get to the car. Van Hoovelen has very much kind of wet himself at this point, and he's trying to clamber into one of the cars. He's sweating profusely at what he's seen. Charles is, he still can't see at the minute. So presumably you're like floundering around a little bit.
I say, is it still around?
You idiots, you just knocked my broken arms, it hurts!
Oh, is that what that is? I thought it was a gear stick.
All right, now, you follow me. I'll sit you in the car. All right.
Oh, thank you.
And then hopefully your sight will come back to you.
I do hope so. There's just so many nice things to see. I mean, there's horrible things to see as well. I mean, that's what happened to the big bird?
Yeah,
They
it's
shot
done.
its eyeball out, and then they shot its brain out. That was after it was already killed by a god, and that was after it was pretty much killed because Pranit, Perry, and myself all shot it. So it is very dead.
Gone, then.
It's very
Oh,
gone.
bravo! Absolutely.
We may have overkilled it.
Just a tad bit.
Now, if you would not mind, I would very much like this car to be moving in the direction of an hospital.
Yeah. As my friends start sitting in the car, I'd like to look for, in one of all the 3 cars that there are, something to cover the mummy with.
Oh yeah, like tarpaulin. Okay. Yeah, I'll say there's kind of a mishmash of stuff like that in the big truck that you could kind of pull out and wrap.
Well,
around.
there's like 6 of us, aren't there? So we're going to have to take 2 cars anyway, because we've also got a corpse and a mummy. So
Yeah.
We've only got
Yeah,
two
I
for our
say
car
we
truck.
keep. Yeah, I say we keep the car that we came with, and the truck. Also, since it was rented by the Clive expedition, given the fact that we got Gardner and Broadmoor, shouldn't raise too much suspect. Given the fact that they are actually
both
part.
of those people are being hunted by the cult.
Yes, I think they shouldn't go back to the dig, certainly.
No, but if we are pulled over by some sort of cops or whatever, given the fact that they are actually formally part of the Clive expedition, they shouldn't cause problems to us.
So where are we head? What direction are we heading?
The
The
damned hospital already, please.
Do they have a bar?
Hospital, no.
They will have alcoholic wipes.
Well, they'd have a bit of what's it in a bottle that they put onto cloth, but not actual wipes, probably. I was going to ask about hospitals because you have been to a couple. There is the one that Perry went to, which is basically the one on the little kind of island with the gardens called Jazeera, and that's normally sort of
Go to the
Anglo-American.
French hospital, please.
There is the French hospital as well, and okay, fine. So you want to go to St. Vincent de Paul?
The French hospital will have wine, surely.
Well, it is affiliated with the Catholic Church, so maybe if you look
Oh, definitely have wine there then. Fruity little vicars.
Okay.
Yeah. As we check Perry and Françoise into the hospital, I trade places with the mummy and Winston and ask the Catholic Church if we can arrange some sort of funeral for the passing of our friend somehow.
Okay.
Or maybe I should check it into the hospital, but they'll raise questions, I think. I don't know. What would you do, guys?
Normally, the governor would deal with stuff like this in a civilized country, but we're not in a civilized country, so.
Well,
Yeah.
you're in a French hospital, so you know.
This is the nearest thing to civilization on this continent, so.
So they're more likely to do it that way.
You will.
See, by the way, Charles.
Nurse?
You can now see when you were going back to Cairo, which is a good sort of half an hour. Your sight did gradually return.
I think my sight is. This is going to be a shameless quoting. I'm sorry, but we're in the middle of a desert. It seems appropriate. It's gone from being a big dark blur to a big light blur.
Good.
All right.
Sorry, it's shameless quoting of Return of the Jedi, but I couldn't resist. We're in the middle of a desert.
I see.
Yeah, I think the hospital's going to do Winston no good, but we might need the paperwork to get him buried.
So let us just take him in, and he was shot by. Let us play the we don't know. They all look the same to us card, and say he was shot by an Arab, and we have no idea. And but we got him here. We realize it is too late. He died en route.
We say we was traveling back from the pyramids. It was bandits or something trying to hold us up.
All right.
Okay. So they have no reason to disbelieve you, and the coroner does indeed take it down to the morgue to kind of do official checks and confirm yes, it was a bullet shot that killed him and blah blah blah. And you were all taken. It's a rather nice hospital. This it's kind of got this sort of set of cloisters that you think the church orderlies use and things, so it's really quite sort of tranquil here. Although Françoise, you're quite familiar with this place.
To be honest, given the amount of times we've actually been in and out of hospitals, they may as well be a fucking hotel.
So the next place we go, I'm just going to check into the hospital instead.
Absolutely. Just save a whole lot of time.
Okay, so you get some well-earned rest. For those of you looking more worse for wear, I
was hoping for a blaster cast.
Seem to, yes, you'll get at least a sling, if anything.
I say, Father, the experience in the desert has been rather trying. I don't suppose you have a nip of brandy or something that you could, for medicinal purposes only, of course.
Maybe a charm or persuade roll.
Well, of course it's going to be fucking charm, isn't it? I hate this game sometimes.
Monsieur, I am so sorry. I cannot give it to the patients. I am not happy, though. I can arrange for some for you when you leave.
Yes, that'd be perfectly fine.
There will be a little cost.
Cost is no problem. No problem at all. I may have to borrow a few pounds until I get back to my hotel.
Hello.
I'm a little lacking in funds.
So he's happy to arrange a couple of sort of smallish bottles of wine to be left for you when you leave, but obviously not right now while you're here. However, it does get to Sunday. So fortunately for you, Charles, that means that your sanity is reset, as it were. So
I'm back to 25 again.
No, as in the amount you've lost is reset, so there's no issue. Well, not for now anyway, of going indefinitely insane. Françoise and Perry, you can get a D3 back of health.
D3.
Ooh, 3.
3.
Oh, very good.
Do I make the constitution roll for the major wound?
No, that's after a week.
Okay.
You've got a whole week to wait, unfortunately. And the other two are on full health, so it is fine. So, you all wake up. Do you? I guess you all kind of get a bed. Do you? At least just to rest up for the night.
I am quite happy to. Given that it is a hospital, I am quite happy to get a couple of chairs and just spread on a couple of chairs. Well, the hospital of the sick people, and my eyesight has returned, so I don't see the need to take up a bed that might be needed.
There's also a church, so if you need a bed, they have to give you one.
I know, but
I'd rather sleep in the car to make sure that no one tries to look into the trunk.
Okay.
I don't suppose there's anything they can do for Françoise, myself, my chest in Françoise's hands.
I mean,
the hands have recovered from just.
I was going to say they're not 100% recover, but given you did recover from the major wound, it looks considerably better. It's there's quite a lot of scar tissue, but most of the blackness has just started sort of disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
So you think maybe it made a bit more recovery time, maybe a bit of lotion to keep it moisturized, but the sort of what's the word? The main ailments from that have gone.
Okay, it's faded a bit then.
I'm playing a particular game to while away the small hours. I've picked up a magazine which, given a French hospital, I'm going to assume is in French, and I'm playing a game to see how many words I recognize, because I can't speak French for the life of me.
Let me teach you a proper game and a deck of cards, and I will teach you French tarot, or as we call it, tarot.
I like a good game of whist myself. Good.
Stupid American deck has only got 52 cards. This has 74.
Try hiding that deck up your sleeve.
For the French game, you can give me a no roll if you want, Charles.
Knowledge. Education, isn't it? Yeah. No, not a chance.
It is a gobbledygook to you.
So wait, cups beat wands, and wands beat pentacles, but pentacles beat cups.
No.
And the Empress beats everyone.
No, it is down to what suit, you idiot. But the trump cards, the major arcana, they will always beat the minor arcana. But you can only play a major arcana if you do not have the appropriate suit of minor arcana. However, you have to over trump if you can. You have to over trump with the major arcana, but you do not have to do it with the minor arcana. It is perfectly simple. How could you not get this? I've been explaining this for 45 minutes already.
Give you a bonus die for that.
It
Françoise.
could be because my eyes are just getting to see again. I think I'm having to rewire my brain.
Rubbing alcohol, of course. Thank you, Steve. But in any case, it gets to morning, and at some point you get breakfast served to you. At least for those of you who have a bed. For those of you who don't, then you probably have to ask for some. Also,
I say yes. Yes. I slept on the chairs as a courtesy. I was rather expecting a bit of breakfast. I mean, I expect it would be much more than porridge, but anything goes. Fry up,
no.
cereal, cornflakes, fortified wine. I'll take any breakfast.
You are not officially a patient, sir.
I am officially very patient, which is why I'm sitting on two chairs. Could I possibly? I don't suppose you could. I mean, I would be very moved to make a small donation to your good works here.
How small?
How about a pound?
Are you a gut-feeling man, monsieur?
After last night, I'm prepared to fear just about anything.
Well, then the church will be much appreciated.
How does it's £20? Would that be a suitably small donation?
Are we talking Egyptian or British pounds?
Oh, English pounds, of course, sir.
And he's kind. One moment, sir. And he kind of
Finds
goes
the silverware.
Yeah, he literally brings you like that. Well, it's not amazing given it is a hospital, but it is the nicest food that they've got, basically.
I will ensure that once I return to my hotel, that a banker's draft be delivered to this hospital forthwith from the hotel once I return. You have my assurances that you will have it. Well, I don't think we're going to get it today as it is a holy day, but I can certainly assure you it will arrive by the morn.
An early day. We are in Egypt, sir. We're not in England. This is not.
No, but you are. This is a church, and I very much doubt the banks will be open today.
You may find that some are open. Depends whether you go to a Muslim one or not.
If there are any open, I will assure you a banker's draft will be sent to you today. Failing that, it will be sent to you tomorrow.
Is there anything you can maybe leave behind as a deposit until your return?
Yes, absolutely. I can leave behind these three wonderful comrades of mine.
I do not fear gods, I shoot them.
I'm going to find you, Charles.
But in any case, yeah, the hospital drives a little bit of a hard bargain, but you have just said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to pay you £20. I just need to go get it." But in any case, you kind of.
I'm trying to charm them. I'm trying to charm them off.
Yeah, I'll say that you kind of arrange something, and they eventually go, right, okay. But
I can't feel two charm rolls in a session, surely. God, not with a charm score of 80.
Well, I mean, you're not going to fail it because I'm not asking for a roll, but what I'm saying is that eventually you come to some sort of arrangement. They're okay with it.
Yeah.
As well as the nice breakfast, they also give you today's paper.
Ooh.
And it is a handout.
Finally.
Yeah,
I've been craving those.
And it reads, it's from the Cairo Bulletin.
Is that the English-speaking one?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Tragedy at the Mosque of Ibn Tulun.
Oh, no.
Of Ibn Tulun's most respected scholars have been confirmed dead after last night's collapse of the ceiling in their study room. The cause of these tragic deaths is still being investigated. Still missing but presumed dead is Nessim Efti, the institution's oldest associate. The Nazir of Ibn Tulun, Ahmed al-Dahabi, survived but was taken to hospital in a state of severe shock. The collapse occurred in a building adjacent to Ibn Tulun itself. The historic structure is thankfully undamaged.
Where is this Ibn Tulun?
It's where the circlet was.
Yeah, this is the mosque that Najjar was talking about.
They were trying to probably grab the circuit,
Yeah.
maybe.
They've got the circlet.
Ah, I see. Right. Well, they don't have
I
the
say
money.
that as a player, not as a character.
By the way, Françoise, what have you done with the other items?
Oh, I'd have taken them off when we, got to the car and stuff, but I'll still have them. I was purely putting them on as a means to, have free hands at the time.
I know.
So, yeah, they'll be in a handbag, I guess.
Okay.
I now reimagine my character as having a handbag.
Yeah, I never imagined Françoise having a handbag.
No, I could never.
Actually, I might have probably just stuffed them in the glove box and left because Pranit's still in the car, so...
That's true, yes.
Yeah,
I'm not particularly out to possess them myself. It was just taking them with us. So.
Sure.
It is just jewelry. But the cult seems to put some store in this stuff for some reason.
I suppose, like any religion, at some point they all want to look good.
That is purely because religion has so much money. It's the biggest company on earth.
Yes, they're about to get 20 quid more of it.
That is your own doing, because breakfast, honestly, it does not cost £1 here in Egypt. Even in good hotels.
Yes, but money is relative, and when it comes to my relatives, we've got a truckload.
I have a question for you, Charles. Can you remind me what colour your hair is, please?
Black.
It is black. Okay.
Well, it's that really dark brown that's mistaken for black all too often.
Okay. All right. Actually, no, you don't need to. I was thinking about a role, but actually, you don't need to because Françoise speaks French. Françoise, you hear the sound of a bit of a conversation going on outside. You presume it's a member of staff saying to somebody who's kind of leading somebody down the corridor. You think maybe towards either the exit or another section or something. Monsieur, you have been in here now 5 times in the last 6 months. I am concerned for your safety. It may be that you need to have a more long-term stay, in the building opposite. And you hear this kind of whimper from the person he's talking to. But then suddenly these 2 people, and you think maybe another orderly, passes your room. And just for a brief moment, you see that they're kind of leading somebody he's got this very kind of ragged-looking jalaba on. It's very sort of dirty. But he sees you, Charles, and he starts saying in a very thick French accent, but in English, mon Dieu, Monsieur Brady? Monsieur Jacques? Oh my God! And he actually, shakes the other 2 orderlies off him and runs towards you and actually gives you this big hug. Oh my God, you are alive! I am so overjoyed to see you again. It has been so long.
I released my finger from the trigger.
I'm very glad to see you too.
Who are you?
Yeah,
He stinks, by the way. Kind of sort of dirt, but also you smell he's blatantly been on drugs of sorts. You think maybe hashish.
yes. Yes.
Monsieur Bassat, can you please not get so close to the patient? And they try and get him off.
It's all right. It's all right. He momentarily forgot that I was British. Reserved man. Be reserved of our emotions. Yes. Wonderful. Good to see. What brings you here?
So we need to take him elsewhere. He is obviously not he's not quite with it. He has been on a lot of the hashish. It is very impure.
I'll say in French, can you not see that they are old friends?
Okay. Give me a persuade roll.
Okay. Extreme.
Okay. They immediately kind of stop and say, "Oh, Madame, and they say in French, Madame, my apologies. We did not know. Monsieur Bassart, let us get you a nice chair to sit on for a little bit, huh?" And he's kind of looking a bit manic but happy, you think, and he sort of slowly lowers his head. He's very sort of tall and lanky. And he's got this rather unkempt beard. Let me get up a thing for you. And he sits down and he's looking at you, Charles. Well, where have you been? It has been so long.
Well, that's a bit of a mystery, you see, my friend. I was having drinkies, as we do. Was
yes.
invited to a party, and the next thing I know, I'm out in the middle of the desert.
What happened after the show? When we were drinking also there. Maybe you mean that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just 1 minute we were there, and the next thing, I woke up, and let's just say the accommodation was less than ideal.
Yes, but where have you been for the last 5 odd years? You have not written to me. You've not sent any telegrams.
5 years?
And where are the others? Where is Carlyle? Where is that blonde bastard?
At this point, I'm sort of looking over at Françoise with that look of, do you know what the hell he's on?
I have because look, we've just met you. The fact that he knew you I saw this, or Françoise saw this as an opportunity to learn a bit more about you while she weighs you up, right? And this man has just said you were on the Carlisle expedition. So to say that I'm listening and studying intently is an understatement.
Yes.
Pranit, Perry, and Françoise, can you make me an idea roll?
Does anyone know what he's on?
That is a pass.
Yes, that is a pass, just a normal pass.
Okay. Yes, your mind casts back to a letter from Warren Bassal to acquire the various items from Faraz Najjar.
So Bassal is the guy that commissioned the robberies for Carlisle.
Yes, so Basalt was the middleman who acquired the items from Najjar and presumably gave them or
I recognise the name, but
Okay. So cultist. Okay. Cultist intermediary. I'm still listening. Very curiously.
Do you not remember?
it's
Perhaps Philimiri had a traumatic experience.
Yeah, that's it. I had one of those, dear boy. A traumatic experience thingy.
He
Where were you?
kind of turns away a little bit. Well, ever since we departed, I was taken in by a young boy and his mother, a wise woman of the area, I think. Since then, 2 years. 2 years I stayed with her, and then I have been. I have had no outlook to life anymore. I have simply been pushing back the darkness in my head with opium, hashish.
The darkness, old boy?
Don't have any on you, by the way. I have not had
Uh,
any.
they. I'm afraid they frisked me as I came in, old boy.
Do have a stash somewhere else, though. Do go on. This wise woman had no mouth, right?
No. But he does describe her to you, and it does sound like her, but maybe before that incident happened. Her name, it began with an N, Nelly or Nully.
Was it
She,
Nori?
yes, yeah, oui, that is right. She lived in a hillish region. Her son was there with me at Dashur. He was one of the diggers who escaped the ordeal.
So, how do you know him?
Well, we became friends, I suppose. And what I'll do at this point, it will be a bit of paraphrasing given the context, but this is another handout for you. So, I'm just trying to think how to do this. Yeah, okay. I'll just read it out. Hold on. 1 second. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's a bit of an info dump, but I'll read it in bits.
Oh.
But he basically kind of discusses this with you, so maybe you ask him a few questions and things like that. But basically, this is his account of what happened at Dashur. He says, a lawyer contacted me, must have been 5-6 years ago, January or maybe February. I agreed to act as a purchasing agent for Mr. Roger Carlyle, a wealthy American. On written instructions from Mr. Carlyle, I purchased certain artifacts from Faraz Najjar and illegally shipped them out of Egypt to the Penhew Foundation in London. That was early April, I think, so they'd be there for when they got in from New York. I know the artifacts were ancient, but nothing more. When the Carlyle expedition came to Egypt in May, was it? I met them and arranged for all their equipment and permits, and invited me to travel with them in case there were any local difficulties. Their main site was at Dashur in the area of the Bent Pyramid. One day at Dashur, Jack Brady, you, sir, came to me and told me that Roger Carlyle, Hypatia Masters, Sir Aubrey, and Dr. Houston had entered the Bent Pyramid and had vanished. Brady was up in arms and suspected foul play. Since the diggers had already fled the site, including, by the sounds of it, this boy, and work had come to a standstill, we did not know what to do, so we drank. The next morning, Carlyle and the others reappeared. They were excited by some tremendous find, but what it was, they would not say. Nor did I learn, for Sir Aubrey was a fiend for secrecy. All of them had changed in some explicable way, and not for the better. I did not ask further. That evening, an old Egyptian woman visited me, aka Nuri. She said that her son had been one of the diggers. She said the diggers had fled because Carlyle and the others had consorted with an ancient evil, the messenger of the Black Wind. She said that she could recognize that the souls of all the Europeans, save Brady and myself, were lost. If I wanted proof, I should go to the collapsed pyramid at Maedum, the night before the dark of the moon, at the time when the moon is slimmest. God help me, I went. I took one of the trucks, pretending to leave for a night in the pleasure quarter of Cairo. But instead, I drove the 20 miles south from Dashur to Maedum and secreted myself where she advised. There in the midnight blackness, I saw Carlyle and the others disport themselves in obscene rituals with 100 madmen. The very desert came alive, crawling and undulating towards the ruins of the pyramid. To my horror, the stone ruins themselves became a skeletal, bulging-eyed thing. Strange creatures emerged from the sands, grasped the dancing celebrants and, one by one, tore out their throats, killing all until only the Europeans and one other robed celebrant remained. Something more loomed out of the sand, the size of an elephant but with 5 separate shaggy heads. Then I realized what it was, but it is madness to speak of it. I saw it rise, and in a great ravening swallow swallow as one all the torn corpses, leaving only 5 amidst the stench of the blood-soaked sands alive. I fainted. When I recovered, I wandered into the desert. There further horrors awaited me. Stumbling up a rise before dawn, I saw beyond hundreds of dark sphinxes, rank upon rank, drawn up and waiting for the hour of madness when they will spring forth to devour the world. I fainted again, and this time I left the world for many months. The man found me. For 2 years, he and his mother Nuri cared for me, a man mindless and adrift. Eventually, I came back to Cairo, but I began to dream. Only hashish or opium helps now, if it can be found, at least. My supply is low again, and my life is intolerable without it. Only strong drugs keep me from the madness. Everything is lost. There is no hope for any of us. Everywhere, they wait.
I have a question, and it is the non-European who was not killed. Was it the, and I'm thinking of the woman who was with Carlyle in America before they came over. What was her name?
Ninshonka Bune.
Yeah, her. Was it her? So I'll go through the description and whatever.
I did not know her name. It may have been her. She was very beautiful, definitely African, had very regal robes on.
That is the only female African we know tied to the cult, isn't it?
The only non-European female that I can think of.
I think it might have been. There was definitely an African woman with the group the whole time, even when they arrived.
Yes, should have arrived with them. Okay, it is Bune. So,
and as he kind of goes into more detail, he starts getting far less lucid now. He even starts changing languages, occasionally into a very kind of guttural Arabic Pranit you recognize, but other times you really don't know whether it's either ancient Egypt or something else.
Yes, I say, oh boy, I think you need a bit of a rest. It sounds like you've had a bit of an ordeal. I think these, I think the doctors here are right about you possibly needing a good long stay here.
No. They were thinking of the asylum. They want to put me in there.
Go with them for now. I will talk to the doctors. I assure you.
Now the question is, Mr. Charles Barrington-Smythe, are you really Mr. Charles Barrington-Smythe?
I wait for the guy to actually be taken away.
Okay. I mean, okay. Can you make me a psychology roll, actually, when you ask that?
Why does this always fail me when I want to know the answer, but I always pass when I kind of already know? I fail.
Yeah, Warren is looking worried that you're just sort of letting him be taken off. You have changed. You've changed too much, Brady. I never want to see you again.
I assure you they will take care of you. They will look after you.
He does this kind of very harsh, like with his voice, it sounds really harsh, but he's basically saying "fuck you" to Charles in French, Françoise.
He does not think much of you. As for what I think of you, it depends on whether you can prove that you are Mr. Barrington-Smythe.
The problem, I can tell you now, unequivocally, that I am Charles Barrington-Smythe. The problem is, I have no papers of identification on me.
No, the problem you have is that I have a gun pointing at you under this quilt.
I am very well aware of the fact that this feeble-minded man has placed me in an awful position. However, it is a position he has placed me in due to misremembering and misidentifying me.
What do you know of the Carlisle expedition?
Let's see. Things that I know a lot about.
No, that is not the question.
I'm getting to your question. Do not worry. Things I know lots about. Good cards, fine wine and dining, how to spend exorbitant amounts of money and make it look like I was throwing away pocket change. Things I don't know anything about. Advanced scientific principles, archaeological expedition, and how to make a woman say yes.
Okay, so you know he was on an archaeological expedition, and you also don't know him socially, even though he was in the same social circles as you claim to be. This does not add up.
I think Perry was going to say something.
I was going to say, you seem pretty sure that you were Brady.
I assure you I am not. However, I have nothing to prove it. Not on me. My kidnappers were rather ensured that I didn't have nice, easy, identifiable things like passports or travel visas and so on.
Well,
This is the problem we have. Carry on, Perry.
Sorry. If you are Charles Barrington-Smythe, have you monographed handkerchief or glasses case or something? Cigarette case?
Yes, in my hotel room.
So you left all that behind. You didn't take anything with you.
Well, if I knew that if I knew at the time I went to that drinky thing that I would be spending the next God knows how long in a very tight bird cage and underneath a pyramid, I might have taken something with me.
You see, we are already familiar with this cult killing their own.
I actually find it kind of weird that given the situation, given the kind of questions that you are asking, you rather joke on it than give answers or try to get you out of sad situations. You're not in a
Yeah.
good spot, mate.
I mean, going to a party, a drinks party, and not taking a cigarette case.
For a very simple reason, I don't smoke.
Don't you have a signet ring? Did we not have that discussion when we made your character?
Did we have did we put a signet ring on? My worry is if I did have a signet ring, they would have taken it off my hand because it would have been worth something.
Make me a luck roll. Because I'm sure we gave you like a nice signet ring with initials on or something.
No, not even close.
Yeah, your ring's gone. Well,
Did have a ring. See,
Your-
tan line.
your hotel isn't far from here. I did find the name. It's called the Semiramis Hotel. It's basically just across the river from here. A bit further up, but yeah, just across the river.
Not that far from my hotel, you know.
Then I suggest we go straight there. You will walk in front of me.
In front of all of us.
Saying that, they went to British Airways.
Whatever. Oh my God. Right. As I'm leaving, I make sure that I stop momentarily to pick up the medicinal, the medicinal compounds.
Mhm.
Drudgery. Walk up to the hotel.
And if you are lying, you will find out what I meant by overkill.
What's his hotel like? Is it a good hotel or is it a bit of dive?
Yeah, it's basically it's you don't know if it's as famous as the Shepherd. You've not heard of it, but it's definitely just as luxurious. And again, you think given from the telegram that Al Shakti, not the telegram, sorry, the phone call Al Shakti made to the Shepherd, you think this is possibly where he was going to meet you. Because it's right on the Nile. There's this lovely sort of there's this lovely balcon terrace with a restaurant and stuff on the 6th floor.
Obviously, I'm not thinking this as a character, but as a player, I've suddenly realised that this isn't helping my case either. This ain't helping me either.
I'm a little bit worried he could be here meeting somebody else if this is a favourite haunt of his.
But, what I'll say is that at reception, somebody calls out to you, Mr. Barrington-Smythe. You are right, sir. You're looking a bit worse for wear, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh, what can I say? There's been one or two shots of interest I'm trying to put behind me. Do I have any messages?
No. There is a rather large, and you see him kind of go and get out this book. There is a rather large pending tab you need to settle with us.
Yes. Could I have the key to my room, please?
Yes, of course, sir. And yeah, he goes round and gets you the key. I'm assuming you're in one of the suites.
Oh,
on the top
yes.
floor, are you?
Yes. I have
The daily bottle of wine up there, as you wish.
thank you. Most needed. Is this luxurious enough to have an elevator? Does it have a lift?
I don't think it does. No.
Then I will continue my drudge up the stairs, making a real point of getting halfway up each flight and making a very visible physical and audible sigh.
The three of
Going
us
halfway up and going and going up, and then next flight.
He walks as slowly as he talks.
But in any case, when you do get up and into the room, etc. Let me think. Yeah, your room looks a bit messy. Whether that was you or somebody else, you don't know. The rest of you, you're kind of taking this in. It's a very big suite. It's got these lovely panoramic views. You can see the Egyptian Museum, view of the Nile as well on the south edge, and so on. Really, really nice. There is
I
this
placed-
nice pristine bottle of wine, with a
Yeah.
cooler.
I placed these the other bottles. I placed them next to that bottle of wine.
Yeah, there's other
I
bottles
go-
on the floor as well and things.
I slowly go over to the bedside cabinet drawer.
Be careful before you open that.
I get a little bit closer with the pistol, so that I
This is
don't
why
miss
I'm-
if it's reaching for a gun.
This is why I'm going slowly.
Just
I've
be
got a feeling if I do any sudden quick action, I'm going to get shot.
Yeah, we slit your throat.
You see what she did to an innocent hunting horror?
A poor innocent hunting horror.
Yeah,
Poor
you never met
innocent
a French horror.
I open up the drawer. I get my passport, visas,
Mhm.
and other identification.
I'm assuming you're not a special one-session player plant before your actual character turns up. We'll go, okay, so it is about time you learned a little bit more about that cult and what you are going to need to do now that you are aware of it.
So, just so we're clear, you accept this is me.
Oh,
There's
I
no
Of
mention
course.
Jack Brady whatsoever.
Of course.
They look very convincing.
Now, you
Now,
sit down. We have a lot of information to impart to you, and it is important that you hear it because it will change your life forever, and you are
Right.
otherwise likely to be killed by the cult.
if we are going to do that, then we're going to play by my rules. We're in my
No.
suite. My suite. My rules. I get 4 glasses, and I put wine in each of the 4 glasses.
And so, it began in
And
Peru.
Okay, and we will say there, and then maybe, shall we say, 6 hours later.
Thank you, I don't drink.
Or however long it takes. A couple of hours.
well, don't worry, I'll drink for both of us, dear.
So you see, you have a choice. You can do nothing and wait for the cult to kill you, or you can join us and hunt down the cult and thwart their plans and save the world.
Well, I must admit that what you say sounds both a strange a mixture of exhilarating and terrifying. But it seems to me, from what you've said, that firstly, these cultists were involved in my alternative arrangements of the last few days, weeks, whatever it was. I'm not so rich that I can't get a little petty sometimes, so I feel a little payback is in order. Slightly more importantly, I keep thinking of that gentleman at the hospital who just seems so lost.
Yes.
I have a feeling there will be others like him.
He has-
Feeling just as
He was a man
damaged.
of weak character.
Speaking to the players for a second, do you remember who Jack Brady is?
I assume it was somebody on the Carlisle expedition.
Yeah, he's the one that's went missing in Shanghai.
Hmm.
He's the one that's missing in Shanghai
Yeah.
who Gavagan severely dislikes.
Ah.
Yeah, the one he wrote to the Pale Viper about.
Indeed.
God, yeah, okay. So you see, I was rather hoping you were Jack Brady.
Yes, I don't think
You I cannot express enough just how disappointed I am that you are Mr. Barrington-Smythe.
Don't worry, mademoiselle. You're not the first woman to be disappointed that I'm merely Charles Barrington-Smythe. You won't be the last. You're merely the most recent. Anyway, I'm not sure what help I would be able to. Certainly, when it comes to such things as travel and accommodation, I'm not exactly poor, you know.
Well, you have money, you have contacts to start with.
Well, there's that. I also have a particular interest and skill. I'm damn good at forging papers, you know.
Well, that is useful, but more importantly, you come from the same social circles as Carlyle, so you can think like him.
Did you just tell that you're good at forging documents after showing
Wait.
us your passport?
Yes, that's what I just thought.
Do you have anything else?
You're not the
Probably forged
smartest,
evidence
are you?
passports and all.
You're not the sharpest tool in your shed, right?
Have you ever been to Shanghai?
No. In fact, I've only recently been out of England, dear boy. My father is determined that I what was his word? Get off my lazy arse and get a life.
Do we know what nationality Jack Brady was?
No. You do have a picture of somebody else in the Carl expedition who was white, which could be him, but there was no sort of confirmed name. He's the guy on the Myra board with black hair and quite sort of square face.
Charles Barrington-Smythe has black hair. Does he have a square face?
Well, Charles's hair is slicked back, isn't it?
He could have used hair gel in the last 5 years.
He's a little bit unkempt at the moment. His usual was to have it swept back.
Oh, this is going to be a running joke, isn't it?
I'm not Jack Brady.
But how sure are you? Because we are not 100% on this, Mr. Forger.
So far, we have 3 people who are not sure. We have one person that is absolutely sure you are, and one person is absolutely sure you're not.
Who shows that he is?
The Warren.
So,
Of course. I'm an idiot, sorry. It is the wine. This has gone to my head.
what have you done with the mummy, etc. at this point? Is it still in the car?
That is where we left it, isn't it? So presumably we took the car to the hotel, though. So
Yeah, it's fairly well secured.
In the car park.
It's better, interestingly, than the Shepherd. There's not the sort of dodgy back side.
nonetheless, I am uncomfortable with because we know Alchekti uses this hotel. So perhaps we should
Go back to
Get
our
this-
hotel.
the Jin book. Perhaps even just drive out into the desert and read the Jin book until we figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing I really wanted to do before all this ordeal. Get back to the book as soon as possible and try to study it.
I agree. Seeing as the cat turned out to be no use for dealing with the mummy.
Well, I'm very willing to do what I can to help if you would have me.
But it is a question of you either join us or the cult kills you, so I assume you're coming.
Well, I'll certainly go with you. Yes.
I
The
mean,
court of-
willing to accept you might leave if you get a better offer, but I don't think your life is a better offer that anyone is offering you, so come with us.
Yes, I do have to do something at the desk. And don't worry, you can be witnesses to it when I do it.
Actually, so do I.
Head down to the front desk,
Mm.
and I will quite happily sign the tab.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that clear.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to have a good drink first.
Mm-hmm.
Sign the tab. Does this hotel have a bureau de change?
It has a post office.
Is the post office being manned at this second?
I'll say yes, it is, because it's a really fancy ass hotel.
Okay. Because post offices do money orders.
Yes.
Just go up to the desk.
Mhm.
Service
Good
with a smile, of course.
good morning, sir. What can I do for you today?
I would like to send some money.
How much and where to?
How much is 20 English pounds?
Okay, sir.
And it's quite close. And I give them the name of the French hospital.
I see. How very charitable, if you don't mind me saying, sir.
What can I say? I'm a good egg all round. Could you ensure that gets to the hospital today?
Say that again, sorry.
Could you ensure that gets to the hospital today?
Well, yes, of course, sir.
Can I ask a question? Do we know if Erica Carlisle knows for sure about the Kenya thing, or was it Egypt that the massacre was supposedly happened in?
Kenya. She
She went
saw.
to
She went.
She knew about Kenya.
Okay.
We never went to Egypt.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you. Wonderful. Nice to meet you. Yes, I do have one. I've filled up my hip flask.
Mm-hmm. And your bonus there.
That I'll take quite nicely.
Okay. So, what is the plan for the rest of the day?
Get the book from our hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically. And maybe we can pop our head at the mosque to see if the circlet was taken. Or to ask around. Given the fact that Najjar told us that if we went there saying that we knew him, they'd gladly help us.
Right.
Is everybody on board with that?
Yeah.
All right.
What ho? Let's go.
All right. So, hotel first, yeah, just to pick up the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pick up the book. What language is the book in?
It is in Arabic.
But you speak Arabic, don't you, Pranit?
Yes.
Okay.
To a degree.
Do you read it?
Do we need to hide
On a
them
scale to 1 to 100, about 30.
see what you did there.
There's speaking it, and there's being able to read it.
So your skill must therefore be somewhere between 10 and 50.
Pretty much about halfway there, yeah.
Do we need
By
to
the way,
hide the mummy somewhere?
Oh.
Do we
Well,
need to hide
leave
the
it
mummy
in-
somewhere?
Well, we'll leave it in the car. But the thing I was thinking was that maybe two of us should go out to the desert and deal with the, like, one acts as a guard while the other reads the book and deal with the mummy, and then the other two go to deal with the mask. But I kind of want to change my mind on that for a meta reason, and that is because Giorgio hasn't had much limelight this session, and pretty much only Giorgio can read the book, and reading the book is kind of just a dice roll. So,
but also that would make you a huge hypocrite, given how you said how splitting and going off to do something caused so many problems.
when have I?
Well, Françoise said that anyway, so Françoise
Did she?
Yeah,
like
Frank.
the retcon that almost killed them.
Françoise. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, Françoise will adapt to the circumstances and do the right thing in any given situation, of course. And the right thing is not to lead a frontal assault with half of your party, definitely. And not even make it to the gates. Wow. I mean, just wow. But
You're not letting go, are you?
never. Not even in your
Never.
afterlife.
I don't know what's actually going to end up being more dangerous. Françoise once she's alive, or the spirit of Françoise once she cacks it, because I think she's going to come back and haunt us. And just when we think we've got it sussed, the ghost of Françoise will suddenly appear and say, "You stupid idiots! Imbeciles!"
You imbecile!
As you get back to the shepherd, you notice that Nigel is kind of ordering people to kind of be fixing the window, like the broken window and things. He's kind of getting in a new replacement, and it's getting all that sorted, and he gives you a wave.
What happened to the window? Oh, the newspaper place.
Yeah, they barged in.
It broke.
Yeah. No, I remember now.
Circumstances.
I thought you meant Shepherd Hotel had lost a window for some
No,
reason. And I was like,
sorry.
no, I get it.
Yeah, I wave back and go inside and take the book.
Okay. You take the book. Okay, so who is going with you out into the desert?
Well,
We have time for doing that, don't we?
yeah, I'm going to leave it up to Pranit and Perry as to what our next action is, because they haven't had much time in the spotlight. So
I think we need to be careful if we do go to the desert, because there's those sand creatures. The mummy might attract them.
In fact, have a little chat. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
I don't mind. If you want to do the book, I can go as sort of guard while you're reading. But
See, here's the unfortunate problem because of that whole situation with Warren. Because none of the three of you trust me. If we split the party, it means two people are going to be assumed safe, and one person is going to be left with a person none of you trust.
I'll take you. It's fine.
we shouldn't leave Barrington-Smythe alone at the moment.
You are just not ready for what is coming for you. That is all. It is not a question of trust. If you were the other guy, I'd have actually been happier. At least he knew what he was facing.
If you're lucky, the cult will get you. But if you've been lying, Françoise is going to get you.
There's something strangely soothing about that calm emasculation that Françoise seems to revel in.
I'm a little bit scared about studying this book.
Yes,
Yeah, I
totally understand. But even from what we've learned already, even if you do study the book, you're then going to have to learn the spell and practice and do some sort of roll to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as for the, well, it doesn't change much because skilly talking, I got 31 in Arabic, and the hard pass on my power is 30. So it's basically 2 rolls on the same
Not quite.
level.
To learn the spell is a high intelligence.
Oh, and then the power to cast it. Oh, fuck. High intelligence is even lower then. Well, not much. It's 32. I thought I was dumber. Well,
Well, the thing is, if as long as you can translate it, then technically anyone could actually learn the spell and cast the spell. It doesn't have to be necessarily yourself. First and foremost, it needs translated, and then we can work it from there. It only becomes a problem if only the person who translates is the only person who can actually cast it. Then then your scores come into play. We could all learn the spell. Technically.
well, we'll see, because I still have to read it first. Hello, Kitty. How are you, Kitty?
She's put muddy paw prints on a pillowcase.
Please tell me it was yours.
No, it was one of them hanging up.
Oh, a clean one.
Yeah. Oh well.
I didn't get who's coming with me in the desert.
We can all go, or if it's up to you what the plan is. We can all go, or you can split and some of us go to the mosque, but you guys decide.
I don't mind splitting and going with Pranit if you're okay going with Charles. I think we should take the book.
The dynamic duo again. Yes.
Are we absolutely certain you two can be trusted in the desert alone without help?
Possibly not.
All right. So it's me and Perry and Françoise and Charles.
Okay.
Fine.
If the world ends while we're gone, it's probably our fault.
I mean, you say going out into the desert. Is there anywhere specific, or?
Well, in the desert, outside of Cairo, somewhere quiet.
Yeah, nowhere close to Giza or Al-Shakti's mansion.
So south.
Yeah.
South. I mean, maybe back towards that quarry I went to.
Oh, well, that's not really out of Cairo per se as much as you want.
South along that sort of road. Maybe we don't need to find. We can just pull off the road somewhere beside.
Okay. All right. Well, let's deal with that first then. So you head on out on the Becky road. You pass Giza and kind of get out into the open. Perry, probably the first roll of this. Can you make me a survival desert roll, please?
Survival desert. Which is a 15. Survival desert. Made it by 1.
Okay. Yeah, so you carry on a little bit. You're kind of getting up to Memphis at this point. But you think maybe there's a bit more cover, if you want cover, by the way, further south either in terms of maybe sort of hills or more pyramids, something like that. You could stop near Memphis if you wanted, but
I
you
think
can also see there's a few digs going on.
I don't think we want to stop next to any archaeological digs or pyramids or anything.
Okay. Makes sense.
We've got the mummy with us. We're doing a spell. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Okay, no worries. In that case, you find a nice out-of-the-way place to stop the car. You can see in the distance a good sort of 20 miles away, 25 miles away, you think is the Red Pyramid on the horizon. But, you kind of set up a nice place to read and things. Sure. Mr. Singh Dillon.
Ooh, here we go.
Ironside to you.
Sorry, Ironside. Can you give me a Arabic roll, first of all?
All right. Ooh, that's a 22. Yes, it's a pass.
Okay.
Ooh,
I love you, Dice. I love you. You are my new favorite.
You love me, keeper, for allowing it, but not quite, apparently.
I mean, I love you for keeping this amazing campaign already.
Oh, well, that's good enough for me.
Yes.
Well,
I'm not gonna die this session by reading the book.
You are.
Giorgio, you unashamed masochist. I'm loving this campaign. I'm loving the pain and horror and terror that we're going through week on week.
Actually,
Actually,
Pranit's reading the
brilliant
book.
Okay.
I'll have my rifle loaded on the front seat, and I'll be walking around the car, just keeping an eye on everything with my hand on my pistol.
What I'll say is, because you're not doing a full reading of the book, you're looking for the specific spell. You find the spell. It is called the Enchantment of the Living Flame, which can either be used to construct an artifact that empowers an individual, basically to call on, you think, multiple fire entities of a vampiric nature. Also, it draws upon the power of a being called Cthulhu to melt magically imbued metal. And you also think it may work on the mummy.
All right.
So, let me get... Oh, wait, it's in here, isn't it? Let me get the actual spell. So, are you trying to cast it yourself, or are you giving it to Perry to do for you?
No, I think I'm trying to cast it first.
Okie dokie.
Then, if I'm not able to, I can give it to Perry.
Okay. So first you need to learn the spell, so give me an intelligence roll.
Oh, where is it? Come on. No, it's a regular pass.
Okay. You can push the roll if you want, because you need a hard.
Yeah, I'm pushing it. Fuck it. If I'm taking damage, it will be a book exploding in my face. That's an extreme to you.
Oh, okay.
It's 8.
Amazing. Okay. So you definitely get a good idea of how to do it, although to your dismay, you realize it's going to take a while to cast this spell. Basically, you think it's going to take about 6 hours in total to cast this spell. It's not just simply a zap and, fire appears.
For fuck's sake.
Basically, it's more like a ritual than anything. You also are going to need at least a naked flame, like a brazier, sort of a big flame, which you prepare. It also needs to bear the sign of Cthulhu, which you learn. I'll say you learn in this spell. You then need to pray to this being Cthulhu for 6 hours. If you're successful in your praying, then the torch begins to burn with its own accord, which signifies the enchantment is completed, and then you can use the flame however you want, and you think that it doesn't need any fuel to keep it burning or anything like that. Only by invoking Cthulhu's name does the torch extinguish itself. So yeah, again, you can use it to set things alight magically. You can use it to potentially summon terrifying vampiric creatures made of fire, etc. But what I'll say is, as you kind of realize just how terrifying this spell is, you lose 3 sanity points from that.
All right. Seems fair.
However, you do gain a bit of mythos. Let me just go back a second. 3 mythos as well, so basically it's replaced.
All right. Given the fact that I have to pray 6 hours, does this require another kind of roll?
If you're planning to do it now, no, but you are going to need to be uninterrupted, specifically, which it's fine. It's just I didn't realize you wanted to do it right now, this minute. I'm assuming you let Perry know as well. What is
Well, of course, I'm brainstorming with Perry first. Of course, I tell you that apparently I need 6 hours to do this.
Well, if you
That
want to do
given
it
the
now,
fact that I meditate almost on a daily basis, shouldn't be too much of an effort.
And you need this torch, this brazier as well.
Yeah, I need this kind of torch. So we need to retrieve that or make it somehow. And then I need to be uninterrupted while doing this.
Okay, sure. So we need to find a few pieces anyway, so we can't do it here and now. Okay, back to Cairo then.
Yes, there's not really much we can do.
Okay, as you sort of get ready to leave and things, Pranit, can you make me a power roll?
You said Perry or Pranit? Sorry.
Pranit.
All right.
Power roll, please.
It's a regular pass.
Okay. As you close the book, you think there's a voice maybe coming out of it, but then you realize that actually it's not. It's coming from somewhere in the distance, and yet it feels very present. It's a very deep, charismatic sounding voice that says to you, Pranit, I see you like fire.
I must not make a joke. I must not make a joke. I never heard this voice before.
No, you haven't. Can you make me a sanity roll, please?
Now on 55. Ooh, it's a pass.
Okay.
I love you more. I love you more, Dice. I love you
You don't
more.
lose any sanity, but it still makes you think, what the fuck was that?
Barry, did you hear that?
I'll take it. I didn't hear it.
No.
I said, what? You know what?
Someone somewhere said that he saw me all fired up, all fire. Are you sure you didn't hear that?
Didn't hear anything.
Well, I'd like to think that that's because I slept in a car, so I need more rest.
Yeah, get some shutting on the way back to Cairo.
Yes. Are we going to the other two at the mosque?
Yeah, we could do. Go straight there.
What's the guy's name that we're supposed to say we know?
It depends. There were a couple of names mentioned in the article, if that's what you mean.
No, on Pranit's idea. Because Pranit was saying, or Giorgio was saying, that there was one of the NPCs, the guy that had the shop, I think it was.
What, Faraz Najjar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the one that told us about the mosque, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
And he said that if we say we're a friend of his, then they'll help us.
Oh, right. I don't think I was here when you said that. Stand. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to have to lead on this one, Becky, because
Yeah,
When-
if I recall correctly, though, Fajar told us that he was in touch with the imam of the mosque.
Yep.
And that he gave him the circlet to look after.
yeah,
They were close at a certain extent.
Yeah. Okay. Right, then let's head there.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to take the lead because Barrington-Smythe doesn't want to be recognised at the mosque. That's what it is.
Okay, so
it's not, it's not the most fashionable wear, dear boy. I just want to say, strange guy says I'm somebody else. Everyone loses their shit. Somebody out of nowhere says somebody's going to be burning up. Nobody bats an eyelid. Just,
We head to the mosque.
throwing that out there.
I mean, you've probably forgotten all about him, but there is your guide as well if you want to bring him.
I did think of that, but only if we need to know where the mosque is.
No, I don't think he's part of the cult because he's not sort of trying to stay with us at all.
Well, you don't know where this mosque is specifically, so either you ask the
Yeah,
shepherd.
we'll take our guide.
Yeah, I think
Could be a language issue as well.
yes.
Indeed.
I think that as a player, my only worry is this poor guy might end up getting done by the cultists by guilt by association. That's my worry.
Quite.
Okay. So he does indeed lead you there. He explains this is the oldest complete mosque in the city of Cairo. It is west of the citadel of Saladin, 800 meters, like sort of half a mile west of there, and near the Esbekia Gardens. You can just about see sort of further down south in the distance the city of the dead, it's called. So you're kind of nearly in that district. But yeah, so you head on there with your dragoman.
Is there a protocol for meeting the imam?
Oh, well, madam, it depends if he is prepared to meet you at all. We shall see. Perhaps I talk first.
Yes, I do keep forgetting. They have a problem with the ladies, you see.
I know.
Well, yes, but more to the point, you heard in the paper about what happened here last night. He may be very
Yes.
busy.
That is why I am coming. Tell him I am a friend of blah blah blah.
Faraz Najjar.
Thank you.
I shall.
I say that as me, not as Charles, because Charles hasn't a clue.
When you get there, you're a little surprised to see that it's actually more of a hospital than a mosque. But basically, Salim explains it's been converted into more of a hospital.
What, overnight or in the past?
No. It's very gradually over time, not overnight. In a way, kind of similar to the French hospital in that it has this sort of religious atmosphere to it. There are religious people here, and yet it is still mostly a hospital. However, you think maybe it's a bit more kind of like an asylum. You hear sort of shrieks and wails and things as you approach. In any case, he goes and asks for the what do you call him?
Imam.
The imam. Yes. And he comes back to you a little dismayed and says, he is most busy with what happened here last night. I really do not know if we can speak to him.
Ask him. I have just one question. Is the circlet safe, or do I need to recover it?
Okay. So he kind of goes off and takes that away. Let me just get up a thing that might not be. Okay. Salim comes back and says, the circlet has gone.
As I suspected.
I sort of turned to Françoise. I take it then this trinket being missing is a bad thing for us?
Yes. As the cult requires the circlet to complete something ritual for
I beg your pardon, it's technically a girdle, but yeah, it's the third item.
Okay. It is an item they seek to do a ritual to. It is all part of summoning back the Black Pharaoh. We they may have also. Well, the place where you were, where we recovered the other thing, that was, I believe, I suspect, without yet proof, I suspect that was to be the Black Pharaoh's bride. The Black Pharaoh itself, they are still trying to summon. We have not stopped that yet.
I see. So, a bit of a blind date then.
Of sorts, yes. She was the member was the queen. The Black Pharaoh himself. We are still working out how to stop. We know they needed that circlet, and they now have it. So there is only one thing that is left to do.
Run?
No, of course not. It would take over the whole world. Where are you going to run to? The moon?
I wasn't saying I was going to run, dear lady. I was merely putting it out there as a possibility for discussion. That's all.
If you have another planet, then please let me know. But I don't think you were that rich.
I have no idea. I'm following your lead. Are we still going to talk to this imam?
No, he's probably too sexist. Anyway, I know who has the circlet.
Okay.
I have what I needed to know. That is, we must recover it. And where it is, I even have the blueprints. So, now what we need is to be a little less wounded and a little more armed up. And hopefully those two boys don't get killed by rats this time. Whatever it was they said attacked them.
Do they get into trouble a lot when they're together?
It was the last time one of them ended up in hospital. But then we've just come from a hospital, so, you know, it is a thing.
Now.
I can see why you were reluctant to let the two gentlemen go off together. They seem to be a bad influence on each other.
Yes, one can only hope that one of them dies, and then we get somebody else in. And then maybe the influence between them would stop. I'm joking. That was a dark joke.
Yes. Let's go elsewhere. Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll turn to our guide and say, I'm sorry you had to overhear all of that.
I've had many European conversations before. It is not a problem, man.
So let us not make the mistake of giving us only 2 people to the place we must go next. We will go back to the hotel and wait for the others to return. Hopefully, having done the task they set out to do. God knows. There is very little chance of that, but we can hope.
And they do return a little bit later than you, I think, given the drive. But Pranit, what I'll say is, as you're driving back to Cairo, it's almost like, even though it's behind you, it's almost like Dashur is stuck in your peripheral vision, and you just can't quite get it out of your head for some reason.
Yeah, I need some sleep. I definitely need some more sleep. Everything will be all right in the morning. I'm sure about this. I'm not scared. You are scared, Perry.
Just get your head down and we'll be good 45 minutes, an hour before we get to the car.
I'm sorry?
Get your head down to have a sleep. We'll be an hour before we get back to the car.
Thank you. I snuggle close to the mummy and then I go to sleep.
Ah, okay.
No, of course I don't. I ain't touching that thing
Okay.
anymore.
But do you have a sleep in the car?
If I can, yes.
Yeah, I'll say you not have. Having said that, when you do fall asleep,
Why?
Well, I saw it coming. Why didn't you?
The minute Jason said, "Are you going to sleep?"
I was thinking that maybe having charmed my way through the keeper's heart, he would have said, "No, it's fine." He doesn't need to have nightmares of sorts. Well, what happens?
That signpost was so big they could see it whilst orbiting the planet.
I saw that. I thought that Jason maybe didn't see that. Somehow, being him the keeper. Yes.
So
There are
when you do fall asleep,
Martians saying, "My God, look at that sign down there on Earth."
you have these vivid but also fleeting dreams. The first thing that you, I guess, sense is Broadmoor's voice again. That couple of sentences that she almost indirectly said to you about white pillars and being the path. What was it, to evil and whatever? Kind of echoes around your head, and then you see white pillars, and you're looking around, and it's some sort of chamber. And then you hear the voice again saying about fire. Pranit, you like fire a lot, don't you? I could teach you, perhaps. That would be a nice little pastime for me. And these braziers will kind of light up in front of you, or kind of like in a half circle. 6 of them you count in this sort of gleaming blue light. There's some other things in the room, maybe like hieroglyphs or something, but it's quite faded and you can't really tell given it's a dream. But you jolt awake just as you see this red tendril almost about to kind of come at you from nowhere. Much to Perry's shock, kind of makes him jump a bit when he's driving along.
All right, I don't need sleep anymore, apparently. Ever.
Can you make me a sanity roll, please?
How much?
Can you make me a sanity roll, please?
Ah, sanity roll. All right. I thought that was a straight out loss.
No, that's just another way of saying more than one.
Yes, I failed.
Okay. Oh, you lose 4 sanity.
For fuck's sake.
You feel a tad travel sick. That's for certain.
What are you doing? You really scared me. You made me run off the road.
Well,
Feel
how
better now?
can I say that? Apparently, reading the book opened my mind to something I wish it didn't. Because as I told you, I need to concentrate in front of I don't know the correct pronunciation, brazier, right? To some sort of I don't know, maybe it is some kind of person or entity. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw that. And it's not something I wish I had some kind of dealings with. Either way, I don't see any other choice for us to close this chapter once and for all. One thing I know for sure is that from now on, I'm taking all single rooms, so that Charlotte can sleep.
That's very thoughtful of you. We'll have to go to the market later and see if we can get a little brazier for you.
Yeah, I believe that in the market, something to burn incense or something like that could do the trick. Yeah, the ritual didn't specify the size of the brazier.
Gotta burn for 6 hours, though.
It's going to be fairly.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's
if
probably more of a
someone,
pedestal.
yeah, but if somebody can supply wood to the flame, I don't see an issue.
It says of the size and heft desired. Bearing the sign of Cthulhu, then the caster prays to Cthulhu for 6 hours.
Biggish
Yeah,
one.
you're probably looking at a sort of a decent sized one, not huge.
Yeah, a regular sized one should do the trick.
Yeah. Just make sure you get plenty of fuel.
So when you turn up and you say you haven't killed the mummy, right?
We haven't.
We
'cause
tell
need
you
some
that
we need
apparently
supplies.
it would take 6 hours, and we need something to do that. It doesn't come out easy like praying to Bast.
So, what? You didn't think to cut down some trees?
It's a desert. There are no trees.
Well, there actually are quite a lot of trees. They're just on one side by the Nile.
But you're
Also,
not
we need some sort
looking-
of metal to put the wood in, and
But
we
do you
need
think a
dry
car
wood.
bonnet?
You know, we've got
Do you
nothing
think the
cut down.
car is made out of what, glass? It has a bonnet. Take it off. There, it's the brazier. Why you fail all the time when you go alone?
Excuse me, Brazier? Why are we burning women's underwear?
Oh my god, I'm surrounded by imbeciles.
It seems a little excessive for some sort of ritual.
We just need to go to the local market, pick up a brazier, and we're set to go.
Yes.
We had nothing to cut the tree down with. We had nothing to chop the tree up with. And a wet wood wouldn't light anyway.
All I hear is excuses. Improvise.
adapt, overcome.
Yeah, we didn't join the Marines either, so
Can
He's
someone
an
push
ex-soldier.
Françoise?
You are a survivalist.
Can someone push Françoise in the brazier? Just a little bit to scare her.
And today's Call of Cthulhu scenario has been sponsored by Heartbreak Ridge.
Well, either way, emasculation aside, I'd get to the ritual as soon as possible.
We should head off for it in the morning. In the afternoon, we have to pay a visit to a place that we have blueprints for, because they have to circle it.
it's definitely gone.
With any luck, there's your permanent flame we can take with us and set fire to the place magically and deal with it all at once.
If we've got 6 hours before we go, yeah, we could do that.
We could head up towards his direction, so it is just a short trip from wherever we go to across to his house. Just burn it the hell down with the same flame, deal with it all at once. How hard can it be?
If we're going to go on the Al Shakti raid after all, I'd like to have a go at the vast protection spell before we go.
I think we all should. It should be our morning. Do the vast protection spells, then we do the flame spell, then we go and set fire to the whole damn country. Solves the problem once and for all.
So we are out
exaggerating.
now.
Bearer of bad news, Françoise, but this place is damn hot. I don't think they'd actually notice the difference if it was suddenly on fire.
I was exaggerating, you buffoon.
All right. Yeah, the plan sounds good. I'd rather wait for the place to be empty, though, in order not to kill unnecessary people.
Sorry, which
In
place
order
is it?
not to kill too many cultists, you mean?
The mosque. What do you mean?
No, supposedly where the circlet is, the girdle is held.
You're talking Al Shakti's place.
Al Shakti's place.
Yes.
You are trying not to kill too many cultists. My understanding that correctly. They have flying dragons.
Everybody is a cultist to you, even deities. So that doesn't really matter, your opinion, to me now. What I want to make sure is that if someone maybe is working security but is not a cultist, it can
And how
happen.
many of them did you see at the house in the UK when we went to a cultist house? How many non-cultists were there before the police raid there? Because I counted and it was 0.
I'm just watching the verbal tennis match, trying to decide who
If
gets.
they had 10 times as many non-cultists there would be, or let me see, carries a 0. Oh, there would be 0.
Juice.
I'm not replying.
We can always go back to the desert. Just have a nice quiet evening.
You're buying, yes, some saucers of milk here, please. We're going to need a couple of saucers of milk. Right
Oh.
here.
So what is the plan?
I suppose it's raid Al Shakti's.
Oh,
I will say this as a player rather than a character. What about going to the wise woman, you know, where she is for the burning ritual?
We could do.
we could do that, but I see. My thinking was we double it up and use the same flame to destroy Al Shakti's residence. But if you're thinking that there might be innocents inside the cultist stronghold, then
I think I think my worry with doing it so close to Al Shakti's,
is he could get it.
yeah, and we
Yeah.
need to know we've got 6 hours free.
I wasn't thinking of doing it in the next door car park. I was thinking of doing it close enough that we could move from one location to another, carrying the flame.
Well, no, I mean, no, I know that. I'm just the closer we are to him while we're doing it, the easier the chance he has to stop us.
True, we could do it as 2 separate things. And what do you other guys reckon?
If we can,
Yeah, I believe it's wiser given the sand dwellers that Barry and I dealt before.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, if we can destroy the mummy, at least that's out of his reach. Then, no matter what else happens.
There's a certain.
What if, though, destroying the mummy renders useless all the other artifacts?
We don't know though if it will, do we?
Yeah,
We
we're
don't
not
know.
sure about that, but as far as we are concerned, there are all some pieces of jewelry.
Well, this flame spell could actually melt this jewelry as well, Nick, because you could melt metals. You said, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the
So we
metal,
could do
yeah.
that. We could melt.
I think if we
for sure we are melting the necklace.
Yeah, if we can get rid of this mummy safely, if we find a place that's near to Al Shakti, fair enough. If we go to the little village where the wise woman is, fair enough. Wherever we're doing, if we can get rid of the mummy, then okay, they might have some alternate where they can get someone else and the girdle and everything onto them, but we're causing them time. And all these rituals seem to be on they have to happen at a certain time, at a certain place. We're playing for time all the time. The one way we can hurt them right now is to basically put their plans to fuck.
What we have not done is we have not found the Ephraphis tablet. So that'll be at Shakti's house.
Yeah.
We have. That is what the wise woman wants to see.
I mean, I think we have to hit Al Shakti's.
We have not quelled what happened at the Bent Pyramid yet.
No.
Because that is nothing to do with the mummy. We have only got the mummy. That, as I say, I believe is like is the vessel for the wife of the Black Pharaoh.
Yeah.
It is not to do with the raising of the Black Pharaoh himself. That is still a mission at hand. They need the circlet for that. So, Al Shakti has it. He wants to meet us still. Next Friday, I told him.
Yeah.
I think we should pay him a visit before then. I might even send him a telegram to arrive just after. Lol.
Dear Mr. Al Shakti, can't stop. Not going to be in town. Stop. We'll get back when it's easier to stop. I'm very aware of not trying to plan too much because I'm using an awful lot of input. I'm planning here as a player rather than as Charles because Charles knows how to put it all.
So, we had to bring it up to speed thing just for meta purposes. So,
Yeah.
But no, I think I think although there is a certain something to doing the mummy in front of the wise woman, I think all we're doing is we're saying, hey, look, we couldn't get your tablet, but we did this.
Whether we do it there or whether, as long... My worry is the closer we are to Al Shakti, the more chance he has of grabbing the mummy.
I accept this. So we just need to destroy the damn thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter where we go to destroy it. What we do.
No,
As
but
long
I
as
think
Not
I think-
6 hours to do it.
I think being inside of the fool might be an idea because you haven't told me about the dream, so I shut up.
One thing I'd make absolutely sure about, given the vision that I had, is that nothing during the ritual comes at us.
We will all be there and we will all be armed.
All right, that's what
Do
I
you
was.
have a gun, Mr. Smythe?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Do you have bullets?
Yes.
Can you
Not
shoot
many.
it?
Well, a little bit, yes. And
That will do.
Daddy did, sort of teach me sort of basic arms. I'm more of a pugilist, you see. More of
Well, whatever comes, shoot it, eat it, and keep doing it until it stops moving.
And then you shoot it again.
Just to be sure.
apparently, yes. Apparently, this is the way you wait until you're absolutely sure it's dead, and then you shoot it several times.
Works for me. And if it isn't moving, you shoot it just to see if it does.
Our friend had a small armory with him in his room, so
He did,
Oh, Winston. Yes, he had lots of bullets.
Seriously.
Although he's currently still being held in
He
the
was-
mall,
It's
etc.
well armed.
If there is a naked flame anywhere on this floor of the hotel, run for cover.
That's not such a bad thing to do, actually.
You still need to decide where and when you're casting this spell.
Well, I think we should just be somewhere out of sight, a valley or something, just away from people.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have a radical suggestion. One that may buy us some time if they're agreeable. Given given the mosque place, hospital place, had that circlet thing stolen from them, do you think they would be interested in letting us do the ritual there?
No,
would be
absolutely not.
protected.
I don't think they would. no.
You never know with the Egyptians if they get too defensive about preserving an historical artifact.
Also,
And
we
then
don't
before
know
you know-
what. Also, we don't know actually what this ritual brings with it. I'd rather not to do it somewhere close.
That's fair enough.
If we die doing this, then we should die alone and lost in the desert, and at least then the mummy may hopefully not be found.
Yeah, well, I mean, they would know where. Yeah, they probably would because they would know where to look.
Is there a night market in this damn city?
You
yes.
never one who was captain at team sports at school, were you?
I played netball until I was banned from the team.
Too violent.
It was only a broken nose. I don't know what the problem was. She looked better for it anyway. So I'm going to go to the night market and get the brazier and the fuel right now.
Sounds a good idea.
Because I think we should do this before sleeping, because frankly, we've got a mummy in the boot of a car.
We do.
Yes.
She's not going anywhere.
She's not going to get up and walk, but half of Egypt's looking for it.
Yes, exactly. She's not going anywhere. By her own accord, no. But every second we delay is a second where someone might actually pick her up anyway.
Whilst you're out at the night market, Françoise, can you give me an intelligence roll, please?
Uh-oh.
Balls.
It is an odd pass, exactly.
Okay. At some point, whether it's, I know, during a transaction to get the things or whatever, you realise that it's not just dark, it's really dark. There's lights and things emitting, so that's all fine. It's not like they've all, blown out or anything. But it shouldn't be this dark. It's almost like there's a thick fog, perhaps, or maybe there's just really low cloud that's covering the moon, but it's strangely dark. Wherever, whether you're like in the streets or at the market or back.
Excuse me, madam, do you speak French?
Sorry?
Excuse me, madam, do you speak French? I say to a random person.
Oh, God. Petite, little?
Is it always this dark?
No. This is evil. Do you notice that people have actually started to notice as well and are actually going back into their houses? There's some Allahu Akbars, and people are getting really quite disturbed by this and worried.
Has this happened before?
No.
So I know what this is. It was nice knowing you. Have a good rest of your life.
She's already gone to the house.
Okay, I'm going to get back to the hotel, grab the others. We go now. Something is happening. It is not good. It is dark and culty. And honestly, I just want to destroy this mummy before whatever happens descends on us. I think they are looking for the mummy.
Sounds fair. Let's go.
Dark magic is afoot.
Okay, back to the car then.
Yeah.
Are we going to do the bash spell before we go, or we get there?
Do it in the fucking car, frankly.
The spell is instantaneous.
Okay.
So, anyone who hasn't cast a spell before, you have to do a hard power roll. If you have, then it's just a regular power.
Yeah, I don't believe I actually.
No, I failed by 1 and I have no luck.
Oh dear.
A hard power.
Apparently, I don't think I know actually the spell, so I can't.
No, I don't know
cast
either.
it.
Okay. Perry?
I'll have to spend 16 luck to get it to a hard power.
Do it. If you can.
16.
I think so.
It's going to... what's that going to be with 16?
Gonna
It'll be with 9.
Well, you could push the roll. Isn't it an option?
I think I might.
If you push it.
I'm going to push it because I have a good chance of passing it. So
You do the regular, so...
I'm really, really, really sorry, but statistically that shouldn't have happened.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to push it because I don't think it'll work. I'm down to 9. I'm down to 9 luck.
Okay. So you're going to spend the luck to make it a hard pass?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine, but now you need to make your regular power roll to do the actual convincing.
That's a lot easier. Oh, that's a 1.
Oh, okay. It's
But
almost
I
like
didn't
polar
need it.
opposites. It's almost like polar opposites here. Okay, so yeah, you kind of like Françoise did earlier. You feel this lovely coolness come through you. You feel almost like you're being fussed by a cat, all sort of all warm and fuzzy, but this will be sort of cool. You get a d6 of sanity back and a d6 of health back.
Ooh, D6s.
However, Françoise, you simply hear, presumably the voice of Bast, say to you, "You have asked for far too much." And you suddenly feel these quite large lacerations and scratches appear all over you, on your face, on your chest, and so on. And you take 4 points of damage from that, I'm afraid.
You stupid bitch, do you not understand what is at stake?
Still on the blacklist, technically.
You stupid bitch.
Yeah, I say that.
Feel the put.
Whilst she's lacerating me. The world will end because of you.
So
You are a
Perry,
failure as a god.
what have you got now?
I've
Okay,
got 3 health left.
Yeah, I know what you've got, but
Okay, so
okay.
My
Sorry,
health
mister.
is now on 8,
That's on 8, okay.
and my luck is now 15.
Sanity, sorry, not luck.
Oh, sanity. Oh, sorry, 6 on it. I am now on 80.
Okay. I know that luck would be far more useful at this point.
9 luck.
1 point and I'd have passed it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, so I know you want to go to a valley, but again, it's important for me roughly whereabouts you are. So presumably you go across the river, right, to the other side of the Nile. First of all,
West.
you go
I say
west.
randomly.
That is
Which
into
way's
the
that?
That's past the pyramids
So-
towards the desert.
Yeah, so you need to pretty much go past Giza if you want to go directly west.
Al Shakti's to the northeast, isn't he?
Al-Shakti is just to the north. So yeah, bear in mind again that there's the desert, pretty much where the Giza starts. Before then, there's a load of trees that you think of, from the Nile and things, so like palm trees and stuff.
If we're too near the Nile, there'll be people. If we go south, we get closer to Darfur. If we go to Shur, if we go north, we come across Al Shakti. So we can go east.
Well, east takes you further into Cairo, and then it's basically just wasteland, as far as I know. It's not really.
Wasteland sounds perfect.
You can't really go far by car, but yeah, you could get to a really empty road, that kind of thing.
Yeah, really empty road.
There is, by a certain point, there is a railroad when you get so far out. But yeah, you
Okay.
can go out.
All right, we'll park up not too far from the railroad then. So that way, if this magical darkness gets worse, we can walk to the railroad and find our way from there.
You say with a bleeding face.
Stupid cat. I'm a dog person.
Okay. It is still dark, and the others, you've noticed this as well. If anything, it's getting even denser. This kind of dark fogginess.
As soon as we are done here, I think we have to deal with Al Shakti. This is clearly his doing. They're up to something.
Do you actually think they are this powerful alone?
No, but they have. Frankly, we can talk to a god who just scratched my face up. And I've only been in the country a week and a half or something. They live here.
Well, as soon as we park, I start to set the brazier for the ritual.
I'll load the rifle and start doing patrol around the perimeter.
Okay.
And then I go full meditation state for the next 6 hours.
All right. And you know what the Cthulhu sign looks like, 'cause again, you learnt it in the book. And you do your thing. Let me just quickly get the details up. So. Okay. About halfway through, you're well into the prayer now, and you're nicely sort of, you've got a bit of a rhythm going. You're saying these weird words which kind of freak the others out a little bit, but you're just saying what you've been told to say in the book. But Perry and anyone else who is patrolling or keeping watch,
All of us.
even though it's dark and potentially foggy, you can see back into Cairo, there's orange glowing that's quite strong. Can you, well, you can, if you want, make me a navigate roll
Navigate.
to try and pinpoint where it's coming from.
Ooh.
I missed that, I'm afraid.
It's coming from Libya.
It's coming from London. I rolled 99.
Ah, fair enough.
It's from London.
Now, what I'll say is with you, Charles, you're thinking about the booze again, and you know you need some alcohol. You've not had any for a while, and just getting hit flask out, etc. Yeah, the others you can't quite see where it's coming from, apart from it's definitely Cairo, you think. But what concerns you is the color. It almost looks like something is on fire, or maybe several things are on fire.
Oh. Flames
Well,
of a
look
car.
on the bright side. After the Great Fire in London, they developed a fire service. Maybe it'll help Egypt get more civilized.
Always look
Do
on the
you
bright
let
side.
Pranit carry on with the ritual?
Of course.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Oh,
Things have a greater urgency now. Like, hurry up, make 6 hours go faster.
Captain.
Pray at double speed or something.
I'm keeping a running tally of all the nations that Pair of Geeks 2 have managed to offend in their various games.
I try and be tactful, apart from Liverpool, apparently. But yes, so okay, so you let him do his thing, although you're thinking to yourself, please hurry up, seriously. And you complete it, and once 6 hours have passed, your head is hurting, but the fire begins emitting from the brazier, and the Cthulhu symbol lights up a little bit. So now you have this enchanted flame. However, because you've now cast the spell, that will cost you 6 magic points.
As long as it is magic points, it's fine.
Ah, well, let me finish.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you lucky bastard, and 1 sanity point. Still, you have lost 8 today.
Yes. It's not 12.
No, but it's getting
It's
there.
close. It's close, but it's not there yet.
But given this was a D6,
Oh,
that's
fuck.
lucky. You lucky bastard. So yes, you have this fire. So
I think he's
presumably you
actually
want to-
succeeded at something. And I'll turn to Charles and say, I think I know which one I want to go now if one of them has to.
I really want to mess with Françoise now.
I'll drag the mummy out of the car.
Okay. Do you bring the jewelry as well?
Yeah, we should do that too.
We're burning everything.
If it turns out to be valuable to us, so be it. It is still essential to them.
We're not intending to bring everyone back, so.
And let's face it, We might be dead in 2 weeks, or 1, or tomorrow. Possibly lost all of our other possessions as well. I say, looking at the fire.
Okay. So, what do you set alight first?
Mummy?
The mummy for sure.
Mummy. The big thing first. Okay. Right. Okay. Sorry, I'm just having a quick think.
Everything else is an extra. This is first and foremost for the mummy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everything after that is a wee fun bonus. But
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you set light, and it does indeed catch, and it starts burning, very much like a normal flame would with a normal, corpse. But of course, this is something else. You definitely think that there was some sort of protection on it that only magic could penetrate. But as you do so, it's almost like you can hear her screaming.
Well, all of us, or just Pranit?
All of you. It's not nice. But Pranit, you also hear that voice again.
Ha ha! Indefinite insanity! Indefinite insanity!
Say to you, I knew it. What a splendid thing you can do. Imagine what more you could do if you got stronger.
I'm not sure I want to.
Oh, but I think you do. I think deep down, you want to prove yourself to your friends.
I have to add it to you, Pranit. You have actually done something extremely well.
you have proved something to your friends. Don't get lost.
Well, you guys can't hear that, Ben.
No, but that is the moment when because I was thinking of saying that anyway, but it just felt that moment was the perfect moment to say it.
We just met. You don't know anything about me.
I know everything about you.
Are you trying to convince me or yourself?
I don't need to convince myself. Maybe you need convincing.
Maybe what? I didn't hear you over Becky's keyboard.
You do have a little insecurity still, I grant you.
If you say so.
I do say so.
All right. See you later then.
How about now?
How about not?
And as the flame kind of rises up into this darkness, all of you see the flames disappear slowly, but it disappears. And you're sitting in a room which, Pranit, you notice has white pillars on it.
Oh no, not the pillars. What did Bradmore say? I wrote that down.
She said, that which bends can break the mind and reveal the truth. The white way leads to darkness, illumination, and temptation. So, as it gets a little bit lighter in here, it's low light, but it's lighter definitely than where you last were. You're in a room. There doesn't appear to be any entrance or exit. It's just an intact room. The first thing you see is this rather elaborate throne on a dais on the back. There's a few different things on the walls. So you see that there are some reliefs and glyphs, for example. There appears to be some sort of stargazing map painted on the wall, sort of astronomy wall. And there is also this map emblazoned on the wall, which, remember how I was ranting a few weeks ago saying I cannot believe this is not a handout?
Yes.
It is no handout.
It is now a handout because I blooming well say so. Right, where is it? It looks like this. The red dots are uncut rubies, you think, Charles, looking at this. If you want, you can give me an appraise roll.
Oh, well.
I don't have it.
I don't think any of you does apart from Charles.
So we got Kenya,
Japan,
Australia, and
Kenya.
Japan.
Yeah, in Australia, yeah.
What about the?
Sorry, I couldn't.
The line, yeah. Well, it's a smiley face, clearly. It's a very happy map.
For sure.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I passed.
Okay. Yes, they are definitely rubies, uncut. The thing that interests you the most, though, is whilst to most people the map looks ancient, you know that this map was installed into the wall a matter of less than a decade ago. It's really quite recent, but it's made, etched to look old.
Well, well, well. Yes. Cheeky little bastards. This representation here is, I know it looks ancient like the rest of it, but if it's been here a decade, I'd be surprised.
So it is done by Carlyle. Now, the smiley face thing, that is not an arrow. So I have to assume it is a from Kenya, not a to. And if it is to, it is pointing somewhere south of Japan.
Yes.
Now, this reminds me of the text we read from the Aboriginal Sea, where they talked about the thing in the sea, the city. Perhaps that is the location.
Possibly.
Oh, by the way, the smiley face, shall we call it, you think is inlaid ebony, Charles? Very
And
nice.
in ebony. I will say this for your cultists. They do have expensive tastes in wall design.
They're extremely well funded, unfortunately.
Also,
Yeah.
this doesn't seem to represent some sort of parallel, some sort of route, maybe through Malaysia. Is that Malaysia or Indonesia? I guess it's Malaysia.
Just wonder why Shanghai.
It's I suppose it could be some sort of trade triangle, similar to the slave triangle of the
Bermuda Triangle.
Wonder why Shanghai's not marked.
Yeah, we heard a lot about Shanghai, but it's not marked.
You also see some strange glyphs, by the way, bordering around this map. Anyone with Cthulhu mythos could make me a roll if you want.
Yeah, I tried, but I got 4. No.
Nice.
I mean, if I had luck, I only had to spend 8, but I don't.
Oh.
See, I could roll and use my bonus die, but I'd be trying to roll under 0. Which would be a little difficult.
Yeah.
I missed by 72.
I mean, you know that it's not a language of this world, certainly, but you have no idea what it says. Maybe it's just decoration.
Oh no, it'll be dark and meaningful, I'm sure, but I have no idea.
Yeah, also this map is not proportionate, it's not anything. I mean, it gives a generic representation of what we are seeing, but I mean, Australia is too close to Africa. America is too huge compared
What do you
to
expect? It has been
Asia.
drawn by an American. This has been done by
Given,
Carlyle.
Fair point.
It's
given
amazing that he's actually included a country other than America. But I see, even though nothing there is in America, you see how it is included. It is like from
Given the,
America. You go in.
Well, now we know for sure that the next step is Australia and not China, given the fact that China is not on the map altogether.
as I was about to say, the fact that there seems to be no sort of scale involved, it could be that the person who created this map put the ruby where they thought Shanghai was.
That is true. Also, they appear to, when you think about the flying dragon, they seem to have some issues with Euclideanness.
Maybe
So-
given that Shanghai is very much a port town, maybe they thought it should the representation should be near the sea. I don't know. I just
It
throw that out
is-
there as a conjecture.
The distorted mind of somebody who's only recently found out there are other countries other than America anyway. So, what do you expect? I mean, look, Australia is part of South Africa or something. I mean, come on.
If you think Carlyle drew it, then this must be the bent pyramid that they disappeared into.
Well, that is a good point.
Perry and Françoise, you can make me an intelligence roll.
Ooh.
No,
That, I believe, is a pass. Yep.
Not for me.
Okay. Let me just find. Actually, I might be able to find it on here better as a reference. So, Françoise, something in your mind comes back to you through Winston's ramblings weeks and weeks ago when he was reading that book on the way to Liverpool, Life as a God, by Montgomery Crompton, where he specifically read to you, "Its external angles were magnificent and most strange. By their hideous beauty I was enraptured and enthralled. And I thought myself of the daylight fools who would judge the housing of this room as mistaken. I laughed for the glory they missed. When the 6 lights lit and the great word said, then he came in all grace and splendor of the higher planes. And I longed to sever my veins so that my life might flow into his being and make me part of a god. And in the dim light, you can just see 6 pillars about sort of chest height that you think could be lit. There are these strange crystals as well inside. You don't know what they are specifically. Charles, you don't recognize these at all. They're almost
I'm sorry,
like
people, but I have to do something here you may not understand, but I have thought of something Winston said, and it is necessary for me to do this. I'm going to walk up to the crystals and I'm going to shoot one.
Oh, okay. The bullet simply goes straight through it.
Ah, for fuck's sake, I hate this fucking cult. I kick it.
Okay. As you kick it, you don't really kind of push it all the way over, but you do make it rock. And you suddenly hear this tutting from somewhere. And you hear a very familiar voice, Françoise, and Pranit, actually, come to think of it, as the room lights up, and a rather deliciously sadistic and seductive voice says to you, "Françoise, you are always tearing down my things." And you
Do
see,
not be so cocky. I have shot a god before and I know it hurt them. So don't think you are immune.
and you see that somebody is now sitting on the throne.
Shoot him.
Wait,
Just give me a second.
let me at least have my moment. And he is clad in Egyptian clothing. He is looking very regal and very handsome. There are these strange, almost ripples in the air either side of him. Although you don't know what that is specifically, but it is indeed the Black Pharaoh himself. Let's end it there.
For fuck's sake.
Oh, well, that's over, isn't it?
I'm gonna scream.
I will only say one thing. We thought it was over last week when we heard we were about to take on a hunting horror. We can do this.
No, we cannot. Definitely we cannot.
I have faith. I have
If not
faith
us.
in your dice rolls. I have faith in our natural survival instincts. I have faith in the fact that we will survive, even if it means all four of us go insane and end up joining cults. We will survive. Campaign might end, but we might live.
For so long.
Shit.
Yeah.
We are basically in a room, God knows where, greeted by
Yes, he does,
Nyarlathotep
obviously.
himself. Wow.
Yeah. He clearly knows. Because he's there with us.
I'm going to demand that he prays to me before I shoot him.
Yes, Stephen, yes. One more session.
It might not be a whole session.
It might not be a whole session. Join us next week for the denouement.
Yeah, well, don't forget, guys, next week you can choose what kind of character I'll be playing next.
If you keep pushing, yes.
Oh, totally.
I think we're all in danger of that.
Well,
Given
again,
Bass just took most of the remainder of my health, yeah.
Sorry, I just remembered, Perry, given you passed that, you also get one of the cat necklaces.
oh, okay, thank you. So
You,
I gained back 7 hit points, but I don't think that really matters now.
how'd you get back 7? It was a D6.
Hospital as well.
I was already
Oh, I
on.
see a total. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I was already on hospital 4. So
I have just remembered now that the Bass part is finally resolved. If you'd have gone to the blooming shrine, it would have been done ages ago. You can get a little bit of a reward. What I will say as well, and I was intending to do this as well, is you can have a time to improve if you like.
Right, that's just cruel.
Die.
That's just fucking sadistically cruel. Yes, you
I've
can have an
rolled-
improvement because the Black Pharaoh likes us healthy before he kills us.
Hang on, let me throw some dice. Okay, I've rolled over my luck. How much do we gain?
D10.
no.
But again, because
One!
you're 0. No. Remember last time you were at 0, I gave you 10, so you can have 10 back as well again.
Okay. Just as well, I rolled a bloody 1.
Yeah. Do you mind if I write everything down, but I level up my sheet next session because it's getting pretty late here.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's 10 to midnight, yeah.
You also get 2 sanity for basically Van Huvelen surviving, just about.
Is that all of us?
That's all of you. 2 sanity. You each get another sanity for returning the scrolls. I think that's basically it. Yeah.
So we gain 10 luck and 3 sanity.
Anyone with 0 luck at the moment does. So yeah, you whilst getting 10 luck.
Ooh, well, I may have failed a couple of my improvements, but firearms went up 10 and psychology up 9. So I'll know what the Pharaoh's intending as I nearly hit him.
I'm not doing my improvements now. My brain is mush.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing mine next week in front of y'all.
Who's
Oh,
doing
I missed one.
recap?
Moi.
Well, Steve, we are panicking.
Stephen,
He's asking us to level up before a boss fight, basically. So we are panicking.
I don't know what's going to happen yet. Calm down.
I think it's unlikely we'll actually fight the Black Pharaoh, but I am going to shoot him.
So we are going to fight it, basically.
Here's the thing, Stephen, right? 5 people here. Only one of them actually knows what you're like as a keeper. I'm well aware of exactly how you would run this session. The only difference is that you wouldn't be quite as nice with your with your utter sadism. You would just be straight in there. Oh,
I hope you enjoyed that nonetheless.
I did.
Or
I did.
every second of it.
Very tired. I was kind of.
Climax.
I'm looking forward to the next session where we die.
Well, I mean, if say you don't die, there might be another session after the next one to kind of wrap things up and get you out of Egypt. But yeah, it's definitely going to be the climax next session.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, a couple more to go.
I know, Steve.
24.
Stephen is Stephen is an exceptionally good GM when it comes to Call of Cthulhu, but he's a very strict one. He doesn't let you away with shit.
Well,
Okay.
As my dead characters, plural, will be able to tell you.
Steve for watching, and also Juk as well. And we will see you all next week.
Thank you very much.
More math.
Catch you
Bye-bye,
later. See you
everybody.
later. Talk to you on Saturday, Stephen.